Thank you for joining the Syndicate Network and your host, Skywalker the Jedi. Skywalker the Jedi.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Skywalker back at y'all with another one. Man, y'all could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you hear me rocking out, and I appreciate that. Do y'all hear me? Is this coming through? Is the sound waves waving? Right? Much love, y'all. Thanks to everybody that's catching us on the live play and on the replay crew as well. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Brad Lee in here early. We got Lucas Weber in here early. I think I saw Dennis Medina in here too, but I think the chat kind of reset. Shout out to Dennis Medina. I saw the Batman in here. What's going on, bro? Right? Who else is in here in the chat? Yep. We had Dennis Medina again. Much love, bro. Thanks for stopping through. We got the good Austin in here. Much love, bro. Thank you for popping in here, dog. Shout out to you. We got Nightwing in the house. Much love, Nightwing. Got Send Havoc 5150 in the building. Much love, bro. We got Danger Hayden. Hey, what's going on, bro? Hope you hear me loud and clear. He said he do. Much love, bro. Yeah, we got Alan Belk in the house. Much love, bro. He said my birthday's on the 26th, and 10 years ago, Zack Snyder gave me the best birthday present ever. Bro, it was Liddy. Right? I'm so happy to be having this discussion with you guys. It's funny because I was supposed to do this last week. In all honesty, right? I was supposed to do this last week, and because me and homie Leon was talking, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, let's just kind of do an open panel and let the fandom come on and speak." And I was like, "Yeah, man, I think that'll be a really good idea, right?" And then, yeah, it just ended up kind of playing into it perfectly, us doing it today. So I'm so excited, man, to be having this conversation. Batman versus Superman, y'all already know it really goes back and forth between that and ZSJO being like my favorite movie of all time. Definitely my favorite theater experience outside of ZSJO, of course, at Full Circle, because that was just that don't count. But like normal movie going experience with like a regular audience, and you just buy your ticket and show up and all that stuff, definitely was BVS at the Chinese theater. And that's actually why this stream kind of took long too, because I was looking for, I had pictures of the Batmobile and stuff, but I could not find them and couldn't find them. Yeah, but yeah, BVS opening weekend was definitely a vibe. It was something that I don't think ever is going to be replicated, and yeah, I'm just super glad to be here to have this conversation, and more than anything, just to hear from y'all, because I think y'all know how I feel about BVS, but I will try to give a few more tidbits. What's going on, Josh Herrera? Much love, bro. And shout out to you, homie. Make sure you guys smashing that like button as well as that share and subscribe. You dig? We about to have us a nice little conversation. All right. He says, Nightwing says, and playing a remaster Legacy of Kain. What you know about Legacy of Kain, bro? What you know about Legacy of Kain? DC all the way says, greatest comic book movie like Empire Strikes Back. Bad guy wins. Cliffhanger. Bro, BVS opening weekend, it can't be topped. It cannot be. It cannot be. Lucas Weber says, Sky, did you have Chinese food after you what? No, I did not have Chinese food after. I actually had Roscoe's chicken and waffles after. True story. And I was super mad. Yo, outside of watching BBS, my entire day went so bad that day. It was so insane. My day went so terribly. And that's how you know I love that movie, because I had such a fantastic time and I was having such a crappy day leading up to it and after. It was insane. I went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Look, I don't want to talk about that. It was just, man. The Batman says, "Tell me, do you bleed? You will." Yo, when we saw that, it was a wrap. CY says, "Nice to see someone else who thinks ZSJL is the best. Too many quote unquote fans act like it's the weakest film, but it ain't. Doesn't make BBS any less dope, bro. All three movies are incredible. They're all incredible. They are all incredible. So anybody trying to tell you otherwise, man, ain't even no point in even. Lord Necron says magic, pure magic. What you know about what you know about Legacy of Kane, bro? What y'all know about that? Yeah. Much love though, Nightwing. Appreciate you stopping through. All right, but let's go ahead and get to this, because Zach was posting a whole bunch of stuff, and I think it's super dope. At like, Snyder says, wait, hold up. No, bro. No. I meant like they had the Batmobile at the Chinese theater. And that's what I meant, bro. Not just the Batmobile. No, they had the actual Batmobile. Homie sent me some pictures of the Batmobile. No, I had pictures. Like, they actually had it outside. They had the suits there, all that stuff. Right? I couldn't find a lot of these pictures, but I definitely found this one. Right. And then I found another one with me and my brother. And I was trying to put a sticker over my brother's face, and I couldn't even do it before the stream started. So, but I had that one too, maybe in a second. But yeah, no, it was lit at the Chinese thing. No, it was lit. It was that was peak time back then, That was peak hype. All right. What's going on, Idro? Yeah, what was I getting to? Oh, yeah, Zach was posting some stuff in the lead up. Obviously, I think it's dope. Just because I want to talk about this movie in particular, because this was the first one that like really, I mean, look, we all know how great Man of Steel is, but for me, when BBS came out, it changed the game, yo. It was an absolute game changer. I had the amount of excitement. I don't think I've ever been as excited for any other movie ever, bro. Like, just going back outside of Justice League, right? But back then, and even Zach posted that Comic-Con trailer, which I think is the best trailer of all time. Right? In my opinion, that Comic-Con trailer is the best trailer of all. Like, I cried when I saw that trailer. Real tears. I cried real tears. Right? What's going on, Nessa Noel? Thank you for stopping through. All right. I cried real tears when that BVS trailer came out. Is that Comic-Con trailer. So, obviously, just seeing something like this, it just really made me excited to be able to just come and have this conversation with you guys, because I think that this was the first one that like really cemented what the Snyder fandom was going to end up becoming, right? Like what it was going to grow into. This was the first one. Because look, Man of Steel, I mean, as we know, he said, Richard Citrone's, hey, shout out to Richard Citrone, aka look, y'all already know all the AKAs, right? DC All the Way said, I watched it 13 times in theaters. I saw it 5, which was a lot for me because that had tied is the most times I've ever seen a movie in theaters, you know. And so, like, just being there in that moment back then, it was crazy. And I think that this is the first one that really, really cemented what the Snyder fandom was going to end up becoming, because this is the one that really divided. This is the one, yo. This is the one that divided the seas, right? Because there was a lot of people. I mean, you hear it now. Oh, you know, I didn't like BVS, but I love Man of Steel. It was way easier to love Man of Steel from an outward perspective. All right. Yeah, best Batman fight choreography ever, says the Batman. And he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yep, I remember when it got announced too. I wasn't there like the homie Apex Lux was. He was actually there. Right? What up, L Turner? Much love, bro. Right? So when a Nightwing said, I would love to see the Ultimate Edition in theaters. Hey, my bad, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Like, you know. All right, so so yeah, just being there back then, man. This is when it really got cemented. This is when the bots came out, right? You gotta remember the bots, right? The Batman versus Superman gonna be a 2-hour tracking shot. Hold on, let me see if I can actually find that. All right. That was crazy. Let me see. They over here trying to say, "Oh no, we can't find that." Yeah, I bet you can't find that. I bet you can't find it. You know, Google like, what are you talking about? That never happened. Right? That never happened. Oh my god, where is it? Yeah, they didn't scrub the internet. You can't even find that no more. Wait, is this it? Oh yeah, here we go. Will I be able to upload this shit though? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, here we go. Hey. this is when this foolishness began. All right. This is when all this foolishness began. when people had to say, hey man, there seems to be some kind of, you know, anti BVS theme going on. And now I just found 3 of these. I'm not gonna keep going. You can keep going like for yo. It was so many people tweeting out the same thing. They were all tweeting out the same thing. And then you see it's like they're just changing a few little characters, acting like they're misspelling stuff. Look, this is when this stuff began. So don't tell me that people wouldn't hate. Oh, right. The bots was botting, boy. The bots was botting. Man, y'all got hella screenings in. Josh Herrera said, I saw 19 times. Bro, oh my God. See, look, and here I go with my measly old 5. And that's the most I've ever seen anything. With my measly old 5. And I think I'm doing something. Josh said, bro, I got 19 screenings in, bro. Leighton Deli said John Campion praising BBS was not on my bingo card. The way, hey, I don't know nothing about that. Is that what happened? Oh yeah. Look, see, this is when we was really having to swim upstream as a fandom. You know, I was so tuned into what was going on. My antennas was so up. I was like, what? Look, it was so many odd things just surrounding this movie. What about when they announced there was a longer version coming out before the movie came out in theaters? That was strange. What? Why don't you just give me the longer version now? What are you doing? What are we doing? Just give me the longer version now. Why do I have to wait for it to come on video? Why would you announce that before the movie comes out? Cinevic said, what about the script leaking? Hey, that too. And they had to change the movie. And Josh Herrera said, I did include my advanced screening of BBS Ultimate Edition in theaters too. Hey, well, advanced screening? What? Bruh. I'm hating, dog. I'm hating, bro. DC all the way says people wanted Marvel, not knowing Marvel movies are parodies of the comics. If you read comics, right? Yo, what's also so wild about that is that it's funny he's saying people, right? Because who would have thought that we would have uncovered all that we've uncovered since then, right? And it's just been like a psyop this whole time. This whole time they've been acting like people don't want this thing, you know? And at the end of the day, they just don't want to give it to you. They just like, nope. Nope. Wild. Wild. Josh Herrera said they did do the BVS Ultimate Edition advanced screening in select markets for, I'm sure they did. Because they was like, yo, we know this one is a banger. I'm hot. Anyway, man. Nah, it's just dope to look back 10 years later and all this stuff and really just kind of discuss whatever it means to us, right? Oh wait, hold up, because I'm getting a sucker punch too, but I want to first look at this, right? Here we go. 10 years ago on this, man. Boom, 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 boom. Bro, I'm over here. It's like, this was the one, man. Mine taught me a different lesson. Dying in the gutter. Come on, man. For no reason at all, dog. Bro, Batman put hands on Clark, bro. I'm just sitting here thinking about that scene, bro. He put hands on Clark, man. He had to. That man had to put hands on Clark, bro. He had to, hey, Lord Necron said Batman was tripping. He said, bro, man, he had to put hands on that man, bro. He had to show him. Like, what? Bro, don't think you above the program, bro. You can get dealt with too, dog. What you talking about? Just like Apex Lux said, but hey, that was humanity's answer. Is Batman. They like, what do we have to stop him? Batman. Wow, right? I'm opening up this panel in just a little bit, but and let y'all rock out for a little bit. He said Batman was tripping. It was great. Danger said Giles get to do all the cool shit, bro. Hey, yo, he do. Right? Fool said, tell me, do you bleed? And then said you will because he knew he could still hear it. Man, don't get me started, man. I don't. And then this dude post a trailer, man. Let me pull this trailer up. Let me just do that instead, right? Bro, this trailer. I don't even. Should I play this thing on stream? Because they're gonna start tripping if I do a low key. I don't care. First of all, let me drop this link in the chat real quick. I'll let y'all start coming up and giving your thoughts. I'll let y'all come on and give y'all thoughts real quick. Bow. There you go. Yep, y'all know the rules. If I don't know you, cam up. You know, if not, you're not coming on. You dig? Oh snap! I didn't know the Bad Channel was live. Shout out to them. If they're gonna watch along, for sure. I come up here to come pin this comment and just saw the homies was live. Shout out to y'all. All right. Yeah, dig. Comment real quick. Let y'all come up. There we go. All right. Got that pinned to the chat. Frank C said, "Be careful, Scott." Right? I know. You see, that's what I'm saying, bro. I don't even want to do it, man. What's going on, Mama Bear? All right. Yeah. Lena Deli said this is when Jeff the Snake Johns Jeff the Snake Johns started his own evil plan to stop Zach while smiling in his face. Hey, that was crazy. What's wild is that the homie Apex Lux got to hear a conversation behind the scenes way back in the day. Crazy how that just happened, right? And then he gets to say, "Oh, why?" he gets to say, "Yo, I heard Jeff Johns talking shit about Zack Snyder behind the scenes," and oh my god, wild. Sitting there talking about they was gonna be keeping everything separate. Danger said he was throwing the left, right, good night at Clark while dropping the hardest one-liners. Yo, I just love the little the little intricacies of that fight, right? Like, say, right when Clark is like getting his power back, right before he starts hovering, and Batflex kind of starts like looking worried. You can see he's actually reaching for the piece, right? He's actually reaching for it, like, yo, I'm about to pull this back out. But Clark had to drop on him, you know? It's just all this little stuff that goes on through this fight, you know? He said, bro was on a. The Danger said, kind of wish the line from the trailer, "It's time for you to learn what it means to be a man," would have made it in the film. Wait, which trailer was that in? That one in the wait, was that in the second trailer or the first one? No, that might have been in the first trailer. Osa Fresh said Jeff Johns did all that scheme is just the cast. Ian Glenn is Bruce Wayne. Oh my god, bro. Yo. Oh my god. That is insane. That is hilarious. Well, I hope you feel better, Mama Bear, and anybody that is in the abode that is under the weather. I hope all you guys feel better. Best of energy and wishes to all you guys. Lord Necron says Jeff Johns is being one up by another Snyder now too, Scott Snyder. He just pulling it. He just pulling the sides of his hair out, right? He's just like Snyder. He's just sitting there, Snyder. Oh. Ah. Lord Necron says Snyder's on a bit, right? Crazy, bro. Crazy, man. Crazy, bro. Look, the way that this thing is impacted people, and the stories I've heard from people even since then, and just how everybody's just not everybody, because I ain't gonna say the world, but I'll say the majority of people that watched this movie all loved it. And the way that these things have impacted pop culture, right? You hear about all this stuff just involving Snyder, the Snyder Cut, and the Snyder verse, the Snyder fans, right? I mean, all these things really cemented and started to take hold online around the release of this movie, right? And so it's kind of crazy how we can look back and use this day as kind of like a something to like plant your flag in and say, okay, what was going on back then and what have we learned since? Right? Just think about all the stuff that we've learned just as a fan base and that we went through, and all of the trials and tribulations, right? Yeah, a lot of it started to coalesce around the release of this film, and I think that's super dope, right? Lane and Deli says, by the way, he was still behind the scenes when Gunn took over. They just didn't say it. Yeah, bro. Oh no. They didn't say it out loud. I said it out loud. I said it out loud multiple times. Right? Yeah. Said lanterns, not so green. More like brown lantern. Bro, y'all know I still haven't watched that trailer yet. I refuse. I refuse. I refuse to watch that trailer. Right? Hold on, let me check this. Frank C said he sent me something. All right. Oh my god, nah. Hey, I don't do. Hey, don't. I can't. I can't do that, bro. I can't put that up there, Frank. See, you tripping, bro. Ain't no way. No, ain't no way I can put that up there. Oh my god. Yo, hold up. But shout out to Frank C. Hold up. We got guests coming through. Let me Set the table real quick. Hey, we got Mook Juice in the chat as well. Much love, bro. We got DC all the way on the panel. Yo, what's going on? DC all the way. How you feeling, bro? Oh, wait. We can't hear you, bro. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. As soon as we get that unmute, we lost him. Well, when he comes back, we'll get him back up here for sure. Great, bro. But Frank C, I can't put that up here, bro. There's no way I can do that. I can't. I can't in good conscience, bro, put that up here. Got that man looking like bro. Come on, man. He said Zach Adams stressed. That's why I said, bro, he was, he was, man, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Man, oh man, oh man. Hold on, let me Anatoly says Gunn's lanterns are kind of weird. Even the Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds was better. Hey, they said we're gonna take the green out of the Green Lantern. We just gonna give you the lantern. Bro, what's going on, man? Why are we running from the source material, bro? Why are we running from the source material? Why are we looking at what the comic books are and saying, you know what? That don't work no more. Especially in 2026, when everything's working, we just got a comic accurate Wolverine, for Christ's sake, which was probably one of the hardest. Wolverine, in my opinion. Hold on, where's my computer glasses? I got some computer glasses around here somewhere. Wolverine had one of the weirdest ones to translate, in my opinion. Right? The yellow spandex was definitely an issue. Right? The yellow spandex was definitely an issue. So with that being said, why are we taking the green out of the Green Lanterns? What the hell is wrong with you guys? What the hell is going on? And Necron said they just don't like the comics. I bet. Right? Mama Bear says one good thing came out of the Lanterns trailer. The response is Zack Snyder made this in his driveway with an iPhone. Right? With no set. He barely had lights. They just sit there like, and we gave you a budget. Bro, they said the budget for Supergirl is $100 million. I can't even do this no more. I can't even take this seriously no more. Ooh, we got somebody else is stepping up. We got the homie Alan Belk in the building. What's going on,
Hey,
Alan?
everyone. I got on a good authority. I heard from sources that I can't identify that Supergirl has a budget of $195.55.
Hey.
So it doesn't even have to make that much money at the box office to be a huge hit. It's,
it
fairly...
doesn't even need to be profitable.
No.
What I'm trying to say here is that I don't even think this movie needs to be profitable to be successful. What I'm trying to say here is that I don't even think this movie needs to be profitable to be successful.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
it's not all about money. And if there's anything we know about James Gunn is that he hates the color green. So he can't have any money near him is the thing. Exactly. Like he's got to get rid of all the green. Green is stupid.
Hey, we're gonna take the green out of the Green Lantern. What the hell is going on, bro? It just do none of the does nobody have any colors anymore? Like
no.
Right? Like what? Oh my god!
It's like I said. You ever see that?
Be the same. Oh, this is so stupid.
Didn't you ever see the classic Prince movie Rain? That was a beloved movie. You know, like Tom Hanks. Yeah, The Hunt for October. Tom Hanks in the classic Stephen King adaptation, The Mile. You know, lots of great classic movies like that. Remember Brooke Shields in The Lagoon? Remember the classic monster movie Creature from the Lagoon? You know, all kinds of great movies like that.
Adaptations, Alan. Right?
Yeah,
they just
colors aren't realistic. You know, it was material. Exactly. It's something I thought was really funny. Actually, is like when James Gunn was taking over DC and everybody was critical about how, Zack's movies are so colorless and now James Gunn's going to put color into it. Now we got a brown Green Lantern costume. Like, seriously, bro, that's what we're doing now. The one thing.
That's a great point, Alan.
It's like, you know, we saw Zack Snyder's Green Lantern, not just the Wayne T. Carr stuff, but we saw like an actual Green Lantern in Justice League, and he was green. He had a green outfit.
Bro, green.
Yeah, so when he was flying, he had like green energy and stuff. He looked like, Green Lantern. You know, like I've said before, I'll say it again. We all owe Ryan Reynolds an apology now. Everybody, like, you know, I'll hear people say, well, I actually liked that movie. Well, you still owe him an apology. Like, everybody should just be like, look, Ryan Reynolds, you were trying to do right by us. You know, that's like, we gotta give you some props for that. That's how this. Oh yeah, speaking of Wolverine, I got my Wolverine shirt on. That's kind of a funny coincidence.
Hey, we was just talking about Wolverine, man.
Yeah.
It's insane, man.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, you guys wanted the bright colors, right? And now you got the guy who's like supposedly going to give you the bright colors, and now you're not getting the bright colors. And I see like more and more like some of the James Gunn fans just like everybody was crapping all over that trailer. Like I saw like a few people.
I have not watched that trailer, bro.
I haven't even seen the whole thing either, because I saw enough just from the stills that when I saw there was a brown Green Lantern costume, that was when I'm like, okay, yeah, I know. Like, well, I mean, I already wasn't gonna watch it because James Gunn, but you know, and I'm not a big fan of Damon Lindelof either. There wasn't really a whole lot about that show where I was like, yeah, like I'll give that a shot. No, there just wasn't that much. Like, I guess the cast is decent. I mean, maybe the guy who plays Green Lantern, the guy who plays Hal Jordan, is like maybe a little old for Hal Jordan, but he's a decent actor. I heard good things about the guy that plays Jon Stewart. You know, I haven't really seen him in anything, but who knows? Like, you know, maybe he'll do all right. Hopefully he'll do all right. Yeah. But the concept of it.
Movie, I liked him in that movie Rebel Ridge. But I'm gonna have to see.
Yeah, that was the thing I'd heard he was really good in.
Yeah, but I don't know Jon Stewart, bro. I just don't know, man. You know,
we were supposed to get like Green Lantern in the Snyder cut, and they're like, no, we've already got plans for Green Lantern, and then that's your plans for Green Lantern, huh?
He's gonna be brown. like what? He's gonna be. We're gonna make Green Lantern brown,
right? And I'd seen somebody speculating on like, well, maybe it's not even like the Hal Jordan Green Lantern costume. Maybe that's supposed to be Alan Scott's Green Lantern costume. And I'm like, yeah, if it was Alan Scott's Green Lantern costume, why isn't it red? It's supposed to be red. It's still not brown.
We're just all over the place, man. We're all over the place. You know?
And it looks like it's another baggy jumpsuit, and I'm like, you guys don't know how to make like real superhero costumes. Like, this is something that, like, I guess it happens a lot in the MCU where they have these kind of looser fitting suits But I kind of feel like for the MCU and what it was, like that aesthetic kind of works. But DC should be like a bit more sort of, I don't know the right way to put it. I'm having a hard time like putting it into words. But DC is kind of more sort of hyper real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you look at the costumes that we had in Zack Snyder's DC movies, even when it was something that was a little more, realistic, like Aquaman's armor or the Flash's suit that he kind of threw together from, stuff he swiped from NASA or whatever. But even those, like, I kind of feel like they're more comic booky. They fit more into the what I think of a DC thing as being, and they don't all look like the same outfit. Like the Flash's outfit and Aquaman's outfit,
totally different.
They do not look like they're made by the same person. Batman's outfit does not look like it's made by the same person who made Superman's outfit. They all look like they came from different places, and I kind of appreciate that. Whereas like that's kind of part of the thing I didn't like about the costumes in the James Gunn movies is they all look like the same person made them. And it's like, even if the same person did make them, they don't all have to look like the same person made them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's especially with like the Justice Gang, so we could get JG on the shirt.
They went to go see Edna Mode from The Incredibles.
Yeah, exactly.
Edna Mode. And she's
like,
oh, darling, I have to go to make your costume, huh?
Even she was able to get some variation into her suits, and she's a fictional person.
Look different.
But like all the Justice Gang just looked like they were like palette swapped from Mr. Terrific. And I figured out what it was that bothered me about the Mr. Terrific costume. And because I remember talking with you about it in the chat a while back, and I'm like, there's something about it that I don't like, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I think it's like a really obvious thing, but his undershirt with the JG on it, James Gunn, his undershirt in the comic book is black. He has a black undershirt. So with the black patches on the shoulders, it makes a T pattern. See? And they changed it out for a white undershirt, so now that T pattern isn't there. And it was something that was a subtle enough change that, like, I didn't notice it, but my brain did. You know what I mean? And then when I was looking at the action figure,
it just wasn't.
And when I was looking at the action figure of the movie version versus the comic book version, that was when I was like, that's it. He doesn't have that black undershirt. So, it's you make a little change like that, and it just kind of throws the whole thing out of whack. It's kind of funny how that works sometimes.
Hey, it's just one of those things, man. They look. They're gonna be paying paying for the sins of what they've done to DCEU and the Snyderverse for a very long time, man. It's just crazy how we've sat here and seen regime after regime just kind of let the bed, man, and they keep dropping this stuff and it's not working, right? Like we keep having this conversation over and over and over again.
Comprehension.
You didn't learn from last.
You didn't learn.
Right,
exactly.
So we didn't learn. We didn't learn from last time. We didn't. So we didn't learn. Comprehension. We didn't learn.
We didn't
exactly.
learn,
man. And I come from Walmart earlier tonight. I ran by Walmart, and they're starting to get new He-Man action figures in, which always makes me happy. But I'm looking at where the DC figures are, and it's just the same crap from Duperman that's been there for like almost a year now. Like, I don't remember when they put those toys out, but it was probably around like March or April, because that's usually when they put stuff out for a movie that comes in June. And they've just got still so many action figures that are left from that. They have like literally a whole end cap of the Abominable Snowman character that got clipped out of the movie anyway. They made a toy of a character that's like a deleted scene. And they got a whole end cap of these things, and I'm like, dude, You got to start marking this stuff down, and then maybe somebody will buy it. But you know,
like, hey, you want this toy from something you never saw?
it's just all collecting dust, and it's like I can't even bring myself to buy it. And I'm a big fan of, like, you know, the Abominable Snowman and Sasquatch and all that kind of stuff. If anybody should want to buy that action figure, it's me. I was just talking about how I was excited about new He-Man action figures, and I'm looking at the thing and I'm like, yeah, He-Man could fight that thing, but I don't want to give this movie any money. The only things I bought from it were, like, I got a couple of things that I got, like, that were on clearance, and it's like, it's stuff where I'm looking at, I could do custom fodder stuff with, like, I can make another character out of this or something, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it just ain't selling. It's not selling. They get Zack Snyder stuff in, it's gone like that. It's like, you get like a Henry Cavill Superman figure in, it's gone. They get Ben Affleck Batman figure in, gone. All that stuff, like, will be there maybe like a couple of weeks tops. And they get this stuff in, and it's been, like I said, just hanging on these pegs for months and months.
Caps, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's sitting on end caps, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, just sitting there collecting dust, and like, they've got like a ton of Superman and Metamorpho over in, like, the electronics section, where they keep, like, the adult collector action figures, you know, like the McFarlane, the collector edition, like those kind of things. And it's like, I collect all that crap, but I'm not pretentious about it.
yeah.
But yeah, they've got, like, just like a whole row of David Cornsweat and Metamorpho that just nobody's touched them. And I'm just like, oh, man, we could have, like, anything else over here right now. If they got, like, Jonah Hex over here, it would sell before they would sell this David Cornsweat. Well, I'd buy Jonah Hex. That's probably not fair. But oh man, it's just kind of wasteful, honestly. Like, they could have something there that's selling, and they don't. So I'm kind of looking at this like, it's like a failed experiment, and they tried to do something where, you know, they tried to replace what Zach was doing, but I don't think the people were having it. Like, you know, I'm not even like going so far as to say they can't reboot DC at all. They probably could have done something really cool. They probably could have done something where I looked and I was like, well, it's not the Snyderverse, but it looks pretty good in its own right. So I'll go ahead and give it a chance. But instead, like, they gave me a trailer where it's like, you know, him just crashing out on his girlfriend and the baggy Superman suit, and he's just yelling at people all the time. And I'm like,
Lois, right? Crazy.
Yeah, and that's something, like, it kind of bothers me on a moral level, because I kind of feel like that's kind of like abusive behavior. You know, we've had this conversation before.
We wouldn't expect that from Superman, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I've asked women, like, yeah, like, if your guy was screaming at you like that, would you be worried? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, now imagine that fucking Superman screaming at you like that. She's like, oh my god, like, I'd be terrified. I'm like, exactly, you know. That's not.
And remember, like think back to Justice League Unlimited, and the episode where, like, the last episode where he fights Darkseid. And what does he say to Darkseid? He says, this is a rare opportunity for me, because I don't have to hold back.
He's like,
I can just let go.
Let go. You
know? I'm a guy who lives in a world made of cardboard. And to me, that was a line that really stuck with me. It's like, this is how Superman has to live his life. He has to be really delicate with everything and really restrained. You remember the shot of Henry Cavill with the butterfly on his finger?
Oh yeah.
Like, that's the whole world is that butterfly on his finger. So Superman can't be a guy who affords to crash out and yell and scream at everybody and let Lex Luthor know how he hurt his feelings, because that's really important, apparently.
You have to show Lex that he hurt your feelings. Y'all remember that? Yeah. And then they fucking copyright, bro. They copyright me because I cooked his ass on that video. Look,
Lex Luthor is like the last guy in the world you need to let know.
Right? Look, I feel bad, man. Look, y'all put y'all last questions and comments down at the bottom, man. Because I didn't realize it was a BVS watch along stream, and I'm just going live. I'm just flapping my gums. Motherfuckers is doing AFSP streams, and I'm just like over here doing this another stream at this. I feel bad, man.
Man, that's right. We should have been talking about BVS. I got distracted. It's easy to get distracted talking about some of the goofy stuff going. Let me tell you something about BVS before we go. Like I'd mentioned before, tomorrow's my birthday. Not looking for everybody to be like happy birthday. You know, I'm not trolling. I'm not fishing for.
Happy birthday,
but I appreciate it. But the reason that I say that is because. Yeah. So like it's 15 minutes. It'll be my birthday.
13 minutes, bro.
Yeah. So. So yeah, like I already got a lot of birthday wishes from my friends in Australia because they're like way ahead of us. I was getting like Facebook messages from them at like 5 o'clock. But yeah, so with it coming out like the day before my birthday, I'm like, this is like the best birthday present Zack Snyder could have given to me. I'm like, this is awesome. So I wound up going to the movie theater to see it at like 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday because I didn't want to deal with crowds and all that kind of bullshit. And there was still crowds there. It's like, I guess other people had the same idea as me, but it was basically like the earliest show that I could see it without having to deal with like a midnight crowd or something like that, and not have to worry about spoilers on the internet. And man, even the theatrical version of that movie, I think, is pretty amazing. And only problem,
bro. It's peak, bro.
My only problem with the theatrical version is there's a lot of unanswered questions, and there's a lot of things that aren't really explained very well because they cut like a random 30 minutes out of it that actually explains all that stuff. And to me, like, and I'm talking, when I say BVS, I'm talking specifically the Ultimate Edition. I think most people, that's what their go-to.
The IMAX version.
Yes.
I love the IMAX version. See,
I am firmly of the opinion that BVS is the greatest comic book movie of the modern era. And when I say modern era, I mean like pretty much everything since Spider-Man in 2022 or 2002, because I'm so old now.
Or Blade, rather. Blade.
Yeah, Blade. Yeah, I'd not even go back so far as to Blade. Yeah, well, we can include the X-Men movies in between there. But yeah. So like, I don't know if I could say, and it wouldn't be fair of me to compare them, because like Superman, the movie, Christopher Reeve, that was the thing that kind of defined what Superman is for me. And I don't think there's ever going to be any superhero movie that I love as much as the original Superman, the movie. Even if I think BVS is better in a technical sense.
Right. It's just different.
Yeah, exactly. It hits different for me. That's the thing, is like you can't compare to a movie that I saw in the theater when I was 3 years old and defined how I look at this character.
Right, yeah.
That's like unless you time travel back to 1978 and show me that movie,
BVS.
Yeah, that might do it. But so I kind of have to put that on a separate shelf. I'm kind of the opinion that the four movies that all modern superhero movies are built on in some way or another is, and I'm going in order, Superman the movie, Batman 1989, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990, and The Crow 1994. Like, those everything's built on those four. Everything comes from those four in some way. Like, you can see The Crow like all through
I agree.
Daredevil and all through the Dark Knight trilogy. It's all over the place. Like, The Crow is, I think, kind of underrated as far as that goes. But those are the ones that I kind of feel like those are all big hits. And, you got some other superhero movies in the era that they weren't quite as big a hit, like culturally or financially. Like, I love The Shadow. I love The Phantom. But they just didn't have... Yeah, exactly. But they didn't have that. They didn't have that kind of impact like these four movies that I'm talking about. So, other than those four movies, which I'm putting in their own separate category as being the foundations of everything. I'd say BVS is the greatest superhero movie like ever made. And I know a lot of people love Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I love Zack Snyder's Justice League as well. But for me, it's kind of like you got The Empire Strikes Back and you got The Return of the Jedi. And a lot of people will say Return of the Jedi is their favorite Star Wars movie, and there's a lot to love about that movie.
It is, bro. It's those two movies. It's always those two, right?
Yeah. And a lot of people really love the original Star Wars too. I love all three. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more of an Empire Strikes Back kind of guy.
Yep.
And so far as like what my absolute favorite one is, and the one that I think is like the absolute best of the three. And I think of the three Zack Snyder movies that we have so far, I think that BVS for me is the absolute best. It's the pinnacle. It's the one that I enjoy watching the most. It's you can make a case for all three of them, and I wouldn't really try to argue with somebody.
It just sucks because we didn't see Justice League like the way we were supposed to see it, man. That's what makes this tough too. I mean, I've seen it the way, but like, I mean,
not yet anyway.
But it's like, no, but it's like we were still cheated though anyway.
Oh yeah.
We should have gotten that version, right? Like when we went to the movie theater in fucking 2017, right? Like, that's what we should have seen then. So, but
in a way, I feel like we got a better version than we would have gotten if we had gotten that. Because remember, you were talking earlier about how they were talking about, we're going to put out this butchered version of BVS before we put out the real version on Blu-ray, and everybody's like, "Wow, why are you doing that?"
Like what? And I've never heard that announced before the movie came out. That's crazy.
And I did have like at least one friend of mine was like, "Well, I'm not even going to bother to go see it in the theater. Then I'm just going to wait for the Blu-ray."
Exactly, right? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, and then they screwed up Justice League, and it wound up not making any money at the box office.
Crazy.
So they got exactly what they deserved, but I do think we were robbed at the time, and thankfully at some point somebody at Warner Brothers or AT&T or HBO or whoever it was had the bright idea. It's like, hey, why don't we just put out this thing that everybody's asking for, and we basically already have, like, we can give Zach a little bit more money and he can polish it up however he needs to polish it up, and we just throw it up on HBO Max, and it'll be a good way to get people to subscribe to the service.
Make sure that Steppenwolf armor is extra crispy,
Yes, indeed. So
make sure that Steppenwolf armor is nice and crispy.
And let me tell you something else about that is that like when they first said that Steppenwolf was going to be like the main villain of the Justice League movie, like I wasn't really feeling that, honestly. I was kind of like,
Steppenwolf's just, I ain't gonna lie, me either.
Yeah, he's kind of like the weaker version of Darkseid. Why don't you just have Darkseid? And I saw of course the 2017 Justice League, and I was like, yeah, I was right about Steppenwolf, but hey, I still get these guys to see the Justice League in a movie, and like I would have watched them fight a ham sandwich and been fun with it, but whatever, he was a weak villain, but it is what it is. And then we see the real version of Steppenwolf in Zack Snyder's Justice League. We see Zack Snyder's Steppenwolf, and I'm like, dude, they had such a great villain here. Why did they trash this? None of it makes sense to me.
It's the stupidest thing, man.
I didn't notice it first. Somebody else had pointed it out. How they basically just when Joss Whedon made his version of Steppenwolf, they basically just cut Desaad's face off and pasted it onto this character.
Wait, bro, I never.
You never noticed that either? Yeah. Have a look. Go and Google it.
Oh my god!
You don't have to watch the movie again, but Google the Joss Whedon Steppenwolf and compare him to Desaad. It's the same face. They just reused the same face. So he's like just decided like a different outfit, I guess. Maybe put like Joss Whedon.
Oh my god, bro, that is.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god.
And people were talking about how like his face wasn't moving right, and I'm like, well, no wonder they cut off Desaad's face and stapled it like to Steppenwolf, like it's a Hannibal Lecter mask or something. So that's why his face doesn't move right.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. They repurposed Desaad's face.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And like I said, I never noticed it myself until somebody pointed it out to me, and then I was like, well, hot damn, that is what happened there, isn't it?
That is 100% Desaad's face. That's crazy. Look, what's your final thoughts, man? We about to. Oh wait, we got DC all the way back just before we about to start. Because I really feel bad, man. I did not know that there was like a BVS AFSP watch going on right now. What's going on, DC all the way? Go ahead, man. Get your thoughts in real quick, bro, because we are about to get on out of here.
See.
Wait, can we hear you?
Is he muted?
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh,
there we go.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, this whole time I've been trying to figure out. It keeps going. You have to go to like allow your permissions, but I finally figured it out.
Yeah. Hey,
better late than never.
Thank you for stopping through. On what you got to say, bro. Can you hear me?
But if I'm going to say anything about Batman versus Superman, it would be that people always complain like, "Oh, Zach wanted to do Man of Steel 2 or this or that," and I'm just so glad we got this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I am too. I also agree with Zach saying that if he would have waited, it would have ended up being Batman and Superman versus, instead of Batman versus Superman. Because if you're gonna have them fight, it is better to kind of get that out the way early,
Yeah,
and have them fight when they first meet.
It is kind of interesting to me that that they chose to do it that way, and they still adapted the fight from The Dark Knight Returns, which happens at kind of like the tail end of their superhero careers. Right. But kind of my perspective on BVS versus Dark Knight Returns is I kind of almost feel like it's the same sort of story from two completely different perspectives, and obviously Dark Knight Returns is the Batman version of it, and BVS is the Superman version of it. But it's still a lot of the same thing where it's a lot of it's about how the media and the public view these figures, and how it's not always like a positive thing. There's a lot of that in Dark Knight Returns where it's like some people don't like Batman because he makes them feel small. And I kind of feel like that's probably a lot of why a lot of people don't like Superman in BVS, even though they don't phrase it that way. But certainly Lex Luthor.
And Batman doesn't like Superman either.
And Batman himself.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Too,
Yeah, it's like, can you imagine being a guy who's trained yourself all your life to be like the ultimate crime fighter that there is, and then you've been like through 20 years of hell because of it, and then finally here comes this guy who can punch his way through a mountain or boil an entire ocean with his eyes. Right. It's like, how many push-ups do you think that Superman had to do to get these powers? Like 0. He's solar powered. He doesn't have to be like dragging a tire or anything like that. He doesn't have to, you see Batman working out and building his muscle and developing himself, and Superman's just Superman didn't become Superman. Superman was born Superman. That sort of thing.
He is born super, right?
Exactly.
We are about to shut down, or we are about to start shutting down. DC all the way. What's your final thoughts as we kind of close this thing on out, bro?
Well, I kind of love what you just said about it being an inverse of The Dark Knight Returns. I think it's very much an inverse of The Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Where when you look at The Dark Knight Returns, it's a Batman story and Superman is in it.
Mm-hmm.
where this is much more of a Superman story. I mean, if you look at the entire story, and then we include Batman, and I think Zach even said when he made the movie, he's like, I don't want to like negate the possibility of the Dark Knight Returns. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, so like meaning like in the future, he would still like to be able to make that movie. I think even in this continuity, whether in this continuity or not, but like he doesn't want to like negate that story from happening, I think.
The ironic thing is, I remember when Man of Steel was announced, and I'm like, I like Zack Snyder and everything, but honestly, if I was going to get him to do a DC movie, I'd get him to do Dark Knight Returns,
Right.
Because he already did that Frank Miller thing, and he did it well.
I have a question for you guys. No matter what happens in the future with like DC, right? Do you think it would be better for them to just straight up make adaptions like Watchmen?
There are definitely certain stories in the comics that I would like to see adapted.
There's so many great, amazing, quote unquote, graphic novels from DC that would just make amazing films.
Yeah. See, like, I was watching a video the other day about Batman the Cult. If you ever read that one, that's one that I remember liking quite a bit. I read it when I was in high school. And they took elements of that and put them into various Batman movies. Like, Dark Knight Rises actually uses a lot of Batman the Cult in it. But I kind of felt like that would be one that would make a really cool movie. Like, a real adaptation of Nightfall. Nothing against Dark Knight. I'm not trying to trash Dark Knight Rises, but like do it as a trilogy. That should be a whole trilogy.
Hey,
you get Asbats and Bane, and you got to get Bane's all his henchmen in there. They've never been in anything outside of comics, but
make Bane
Bird and Frog and Zombie.
Right. Hold on, real quick. We got Mook Juice with a $5 super chat saying there's a movie on Netflix called Durandar. So good. Go to Indian movie. Highly recommend. Just saw the sequel. Can't stop thinking about it. Let me go ahead and give you this drop, bro.
I will look into that.
Appreciate the support. I mean, here we go. Where are we at? Here we go.
Real quick, I want to ask you not about the legalities or like the probabilities or anything like that, but can you just speak to the resolve of your fan base that now that we're trying to get this thing sold to a third party?
The fan base has consistently been amazing and consistently, regardless of what I think, the fan base has their own ideas and they seem to win.
Hey, we got Apex Lux in the building. What's going on? I gotta
there he is.
Again. I get a soundboard.
What's happening? How y'all doing, man? Sky, good to see you, bro. Good to see you back on doing your thing.
Much love, bro. You just chilling, man.
I gotta say, I always love hearing Zach say that. Like, the fans have their own ideas and they seem to win, because part of me is always like, he's talking about me, and he's talking about anybody who can hear my voice right now. Like, if you're listening, he's talking about all of us. So yeah, thanks, Zach. I appreciate that.
Right.
I think it's great too. Remember, like Henry Colville said something along those lines, like the fans have a right to say whatever a fan wants to say.
Yep.
And I mean, I think like they understand it because they're fans.
Oh yeah,
and, like, most of Hollywood aren't.
And it seems to me like if you look at stuff like what's going on with DC right now, like they try to make us like the stuff that they want us to like, and it's like, why don't you just give us the stuff we actually like? That would probably make you guys a little more money.
That's too easy.
That's not just DC. That's Hollywood in general right now.
Yeah, you're right. It would apply to all Hollywood in general, but like just, I get kind of laser focused on my superheroes is the thing.
But what's funny, right, is they take the word comic book and they think comic means comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
They're comic like a comedian, right? Hey,
yeah. They're like, it's funny, right? Jokes.
Hey, Apex Lux, how are you feeling, bro, about this BVS 10-year anniversary? You know what I mean, and thanks for stopping through, bro.
Hey, for sure. First of all, shout out to the chat. I see y'all. Much love.
As a matter of fact, go ahead and cook. I'll be right back, bro. Yeah,
for sure.
Go ahead.
Shout out to the chat. Lucas, Sin Havoc, Mama Bear. I see y'all. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet this time around, man. You know, I'll start with the sweet before the bitter. You know, the sweet is that like we're a decade in, man, and this film is still holds up as one of the ultimate examples of what comic book filmmaking could have been. You know what I mean? It obviously has permeated the Hollywood zeitgeist of how to do science fiction, filmmaking, television, and everything. You know, it's too apparent. People are ripping from Zach's stylized way of doing things, and it's not just because like, oh, it's cool looking. It's these people like legit like Zach. They like his work, and it's really cool to know that we're not the only ones. You know, it's not just some Twitter bullshit. This is in real life. There are filmmakers and people that are going to film school who study this guy's work. You got greats like James Cameron, who name drops him as somebody who has his own film language, right? Like, he's gone on record saying that. We got Quentin Tarantino saying that it's freaking super groovy that fans went out of their way to be very passionate about his work. So that's dope. So to see like BVS, we were right all along. I mean, and it's not necessarily about being right or wrong, but like there is always merit to our passion for defending this film because there's so much to it. It's so layered. And
I've said before, like, it means a lot to me to hear people like, James Cameron or Christopher Nolan or some of the people that really know movies and how to put together movies and have made movies themselves, to hear them give Zach the kind of respect he deserves. And that's worth like more than 100,000 of the people that just be criticizing Snyder and his work for things that are just kind of like, I don't know, they're like stupid criticisms. You know what I mean? Like they kind of come out of nowhere and they come out of a place of ignorance. And it's like, oh, Zack Snyder is nothing but a bunch of slow motion. And like, he doesn't really even do slow motion like that much, I mean, like maybe, slightly
they
more.
like to meme, when you don't really have a real argument or a real criticism that you can dissect. You just go straight to the meme things, the low hanging fruit. Well, he's just.
I always love when they say his films aren't deep.
Isn't that a weird?
They're like, it's just surface level visuals.
They're almost too deep.
And what I love is because they can accept that like these are visual masterpieces, but then they go like, yeah, but it's not deep.
Yeah, it's like maybe
even
you're
his
the
haters
problem.
can accept that like him to a certain degree.
It's like maybe you guys just need to scratch beyond the surface.
Right.
Hey, shout out to Necron. I see you, brother. It's the funny part is like the examples that they give to try to counter a Zack Snyder is really weird. Like, the easy ones being like Gun, but like,
Man, I remember when I went to go see like Batman versus Superman with a whole bunch of people, and we went back to the apartment, and like there was like I don't know, probably like 12 of us, and we're all like partying, we're like drinking, smoking, whatever. And this one guy, the bulk of us liked it, and this one guy's like, "Man, that movie was trash." And I'm just like, "Okay, man, like what's bad about it?" And he's going like, "Man, the cinematography was horrible." And I'm just like, "Do you know what cinematography means?" I'm like, that's how the picture looks. I was like, I asked everyone at the party, I'm like, did that picture look horrible? Did it look beautiful? I'm like,
look,
that's crazy.
If I had any complaint about BVS, the theatrical edition, like I said before, it would have been the choppy editing and how and that wasn't even something that Snyder didn't even have anything to do with that. It wasn't his cut of the movie. And like I say, when you see the Ultimate Edition, it fixes everything. And even still, even with the choppy editing, which I thought could have been better, I still thought it was a great movie and saw it like 6 times in the theater.
I was about to say I saw it about 6 or 7 times when it came out. That's the funny thing. I don't ever really diss the theatrical version the way a lot of people did, because the theatrical version was like, man, I'll take any Marvel movie that came out in that era, and I'm just like, we can't sit here and argue anything about details, structure against BVS, and then look at a Marvel movie and sing your praises in that time period. That time period of Marvel movies was lame in comparison. I'm not saying they were absolute garbage. There was some popcorn entertainment for sure, but to watch a bunch of dudes run through a parking lot in like muddy gray color palette towards each other just for some stupid parking lot fight moment, but then you turn around and say, oh my god, BVS was like, nah, bro. BVS,
but then you even go back to that parking lot moment, and there ain't much there.
Nope,
action
there
wise.
isn't.
Not
at all.
And I'm not gonna lie. I remember watching it in theaters going, man, this is great. And then I remember watching it later on DVD when it came out and going, I thought this was great.
Yeah, it probably helps when it's on a gigantic screen like that.
Exactly.
But, you know, it's something where, like, you had so many characters in there and, like, so many big characters and a lot of characters you were seeing for the first time on screen. Like, I remember when Black Panther was just a comic book character and hadn't even been in cartoons and shit. And I remember reading the Black Panther comic book and thinking, this character's awesome. They should make a movie about him, but he's not really that well known, so I don't know if they actually would, you know. But I thought he would have made a good movie.
Blade was the first comic book movie, modern comic book movie. So
yeah,
I mean, that throws that out the window. Dude, remember Wesley Snipes was gonna play Black Panther at one point.
That's right. They got so far. I think they actually made a costume for him. So I think there might actually be photos out there that exist. That
I know a script
might have been after Blade.
No, it was definitely after Blade.
Yeah, I was about to say it was after Blade. Now that I think about
it,
I think it was before Blade too.
Part of the production team for that. Yep.
But I remember seeing like an interview where he was talking about how he was going to play Black Panther, and that should be awesome. I'm gonna enjoy it.
And let's be real, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. Wesley Snipes as Black Panther would have been.
If we have Wesley Snipes as Black Panther with the director of Blade,
but
that would have been
just
crazy. Because Blade is one of the best comic book movies ever.
Like the intensity. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, but you had like basically like 2 teams of Avengers going up against each other, and it should have been a bigger, higher stakes fight, I think, than just Batman versus Superman. But Zach managed to take the fight between Batman and Superman, and to me made it feel a lot more epic and mythic in scale.
This is the difference in like the why one is better than the other, right? If you remember in the fight with the Avengers, as soon as Black Widow punches Hawkeye and they go like, well, this isn't serious, right? No, this isn't serious.
You're not really mad at me, are you? Or something
we
like
aren't,
that.
yeah. We know it's not serious anymore.
It kind of lowers the stakes a bit. You know,
like in Batman
like,
versus Superman, when he has that spear to fucking Batman's neck, you're like, oh, is he going to kill him?
The stakes were lowered to gum at the bottom of somebody's shoe. The stakes were done. The stakes were done. I, in the theater, checked out. I was like, what? It didn't pick up for me until they got to the or whatever,
really mad
the
at
warehouse.
Until the end of the
Yeah,
I remember the logic when Robert Downey Jr. turned Spider-Man, like that the whole scene. Because Spider-Man is like, well, with great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility, and Iron Man is like, yeah, well, just like come do this. It's like it kind of fights in the face of like what Uncle Ben taught Spider-Man, like in that moment.
Well, that's what made BVS such a beautiful film, because it was layered on both sides. It was like building. It was pretty much a cinematic equivalent of a boxing match being prepared to happen, where you have weeks of build up until the pay-per-view, where you have on one side the fighter and whatever they believe in, whatever their mythos is, whatever their ethos is. Then on the other side, the same thing. And then the crowds kind of pick who they want to see win. Ultimately, though, we're just excited for the ultimate showdown, where BVS is just this intrigue of politics. You're seeing politics sociology, the
Yeah.
zeitgeist. We're even seeing religion pound all over Clark, and you can see it all over his face. Every time he looks at a screen, he's like, God dang, I'm so tired of y'all talking about me. Like, I just literally just want to live a normal life while also saving the world and being with my chick. And Bruce is on the other side doing the complete opposite. He is this torn figure who's literally still trying to figure out life again because he just had another major PTSD moment where another family essentially got killed. His parents got killed all over again when the aliens came down to Earth.
You've got a god trying to be a man and a man trying to be a god.
Exactly.
That's what Batman and Superman are on kind of like if you break it down to like the basic level. And in that fight, you've got Batman is literally trying to kill Superman because he sees him as an existential threat to the entire human race. And I can't really think of many stakes higher than that, except maybe Superman on a more personal level. He wants to save his mother. And it's the sort of thing like,
what do y'all think Bruce would have did if he would have killed him? Because like people kind of stop it at like he just would have killed him. I think he would have
like if he would have killed Superman, what would have happened?
Yeah, I think he would have tried to reverse engineer whatever.
Do you think Doomsday's birth would have been aborted?
Oh yeah, maybe. I think Lex would have probably aborted that plan and ultimately went somewhere different. But I also think Bruce would have reverse engineered whatever remained of Superman, because I think he didn't look at him as a person. He looked at him as a threat, an eventual threat. So he was just like, man, look, I've seen in what you called, in what I can estimate as you trying to protect, you ultimately leveled a city by mistake. What if you ultimately get pushed over the edge like I have 20 years in Gotham, right?
How many good men are left?
That's what I love about that line.
If you become me,
if people don't understand that Batman's talking about himself.
But Zack Snyder is just surface. There's no depth there. It's just surface.
No depth.
He's scared that Superman's gonna be him. He's looked at himself. He's like, I'm the guy who trained myself to be a weapon. Right?
Yeah.
With all this knowledge, what's this dude with all this ultimate power gonna do? If I couldn't hold up to my own morals, what the hell is this guy gonna do? He's gonna devastate us.
That's why the Martha scene is actually brilliant and misunderstood. And I think a lot of people, honestly, purposely misunderstand it just because they want to trash on the movie and they look for reasons to trash on it. And so they say, oh, Martha, but no, the Martha scene is brilliant because that's when Batman sees Superman.
Nobody realized. And not only just that, but also Lois Lane is a human being. Her being there and diving in front of him, I think, has a equal.
What Sky just said. No one realized. Even the first time I went to go watch Batman versus Superman in theaters, I was with a group of comic book fans, and the two guys sitting next to me. When that came up, the Martha thing, and they're like, "Oh my God, both of their mothers are named Martha." I never realized that before.
Yeah,
and I'm just sitting there going like, "You never fucking realized that before."
But it's also like Sky
it's something that
her diving on him, but also she had to announce. She said, "It's his mother's name. It's his mother's name."
Yeah,
people always say it's just Martha. Like he just said Martha, and he just stopped. It was like, bro, it was a woman who could have been murdered in that very moment, putting herself in harm's way. It was also that same woman who's also the hero of BVS. I will go down saying that all the time. Lois Lane is the hero of BVS. She stood in the way of that danger, and she said, "It's his mother's name. It's his mother's name." Like, yo, chill.
And you've been looking at this guy like he's not human, and this totally fully human woman just dove in front of you.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, let's forget about the name Martha, or like that even happening though, right? Or like, oh, he should have said this or that. As far as cinema terms are concerned, right? There's these things called like setups and payoffs.
He set it up in the beginning.
They were setting up Martha the entire movie.
Yep.
For a reason.
It's one of those things.
It was the first time his origin story, in my opinion, as a Batman fan, that his origin story actually really, truly like paid off, as opposed to saying, this is why he's on his journey, which is also great. But it's also, this is why he's on his journey. But also, we're gonna tell you at the end here where we're gonna bring him back to some semblance of what he used to be, with the same origin that we always waved in your face. We're gonna doubly use it this time, y'all.
And I've said this before. I like how he's doing a story where he's trying to lead these characters of Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent to the place where we know where they're the Batman and Superman that we know, and he's coming at it from different ends. He's got this Superman who hasn't quite learned how to be Superman yet, and this Batman that's kind of fallen and is become something much darker than Batman should be. And Superman inspires him to find his way back to being that Batman. And Superman is
like
still again
mythic religious storytelling.
It's something I like to do. Something
not deep.
Something I like to do with the Zack Snyder movie that I think a lot of people don't do, but I'm pretty sure all of you guys do, and that includes you in the chat, is I like to think while I'm watching it. I like to use my brain and kind of try to figure out why Zack is doing certain things in these movies. Like in Man of Steel, it has a very literal beginning where it literally begins with the birth of our main character, where you can't get a more definitive beginning to a story than that.
It's the first sound that you hear when that movie starts.
How genius
it's his heartbeat and her heartbeat as he's born. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching the movie, why are we actually seeing the birth of Kal-El? Why is I don't mean that in a negative way, but I mean that in a way of like, why did Zack Snyder choose to begin his movie right here rather than with Kal-El being an infant like most versions do? And then you find out, they don't actually normally have natural childbirth on Krypton. So that's interesting.
But then it's even symbolic of that. It's the birth of this new universe.
And in BVS, there's a similar sort of thing where we're seeing the origin of Batman again, and I'm thinking to myself, why are we seeing the origin of Batman again? And as Apex Lux has helpfully pointed out, it's because it's setting up other stuff. He's using it in a new way that we haven't seen before.
And not only was it setting up stuff, but what I did love is it was relegated to the beginning intro.
Yeah.
That was super dope, too. That was the best way to do it. Because we all know Batman's origin.
Right.
We don't need a whole
bunch. Just got 3 movies about it.
So why is he doing it again?
And it's the best one. And it's the best one. Even without the Martha.
Yeah, I'd agree.
First of all,
I would agree with that.
The best one.
You beat me to it. I was getting ready to say that. I was getting ready to start by saying it's the best one and my favorite way that it is interpreted. But also,
I think so. I would agree with that.
I hated the fact that the media was trying to perpetuate this idea that hearing the origin story or seeing the origin story was somehow taboo or it was cliche or whatever they were trying to say. Y'all remember that?
Right.
At that time?
They still say that. Where
everything about
this again,
which brought us to the Batman. Right, with Pattinson when they were saying,
but they also said that with Superman too. Like, do we need this whole birth and Krypton stuff?
Yeah,
but people forget how long ago 1973 was.
Yeah, and he actually, like I said, with Man of Steel, for me, he actually did make a movie that, like, okay, it's worth telling Superman's origin again because you told it in this new and unique way. It was not just a remake of Superman the movie like lesser filmmakers would have done. It was like the thing I liked about Man of Steel was it was basically the story of Superman, but if Superman was like a real guy today, how would it have gone down? And if you think about that as being the premise of the movie, every change that they made to the story makes 100% sense. Every single one. I love,
it's not only realistic. I think he took the same approach that like Frank Miller took when he did The Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Returns, somebody could read The Dark Knight Returns and go, man, that is a down, dirty, gritty, realistic interpretation of Batman. But then somebody else could read The Dark Knight Returns and go like, oh my God, that's like a modern day opera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And both versions are absolutely correct.
Right.
So
It is very
it's like, you
operatic,
know,
The Dark Knight Returns.
but
love
yeah,
that
it's
comic.
like, and what's the last word that Thomas Wayne says as he dies in Batman v Superman? Martha. So it's not just his mother's name either. It's the last thing that he ever heard his father say.
Yep.
And then he's got this alien that he's trying to kill, and then he hears the word. He hears the word Martha come. And if he had stabbed Superman at that moment, his last word would have been the same last word as Thomas Wayne.
It's like Derek Water, I believe he said in the chat.
I was just about to bring that up.
Nobody ever mentions that Clark researched Bruce in the
Yep.
Ultimate Edition. Of course, he discovered what happened to his parents and why he became Batman. You're letting him be. Exactly, bro. When he went up to him, he
It's
said,
a deliberate.
Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say? Bruce, we need to talk. Lex, he's trying to blah, blah, blah. Like he was trying to reason with him. And Bruce is like, look, man.
He knows.
Bruce is like, I already know all that. I don't care.
Yeah.
I know Lex is playing us.
Yeah.
We figured that out already. I already know that
but
you're
I
being
want your
played.
ass
But
right
I want you.
now.
You get out of here, bro. Because if people like Lex keep pushing your buttons, I'm gonna have to come handle you later, and I can't do it. I can't wait, so I'm gonna have to do it now. Then I'm gonna go handle Lex, bro. I already know, and I think that I love the way Zach doesn't really tell us that, but it's like
he doesn't spoon feed you stuff. You have
just think about it.
It helps to think when you're watching the Zack Snyder movie.
Like
what I love about the story ultimately
reason with him because he knows that Bruce knows. He's like, come on, man. Like we got to talk this out.
It's like if Superman is God or Christ and he's come to save mankind, and if Batman is a representation of mankind who was fallen, I'm just saying, like think about even in the comic books, right? If Batman and Superman exist in the same universe, and Superman is there to uplift humanity, don't we have to have a story where Batman falls for him to uplift
100%.
Batman?
That's one of the things that makes it
in
brilliant.
the mythology of DC, like that story was never really told, but like it's kind of always been there on the underlying aspect.
It's Batman rising up to join Superman in the sun. That's what it is. It's just like Jor-El predicted.
I literally watched Justice League yesterday, and like that shot of when like Superman is pulling Batman up,
pulls him up from the
I
knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah,
he literally pulls him up.
He pulled him out the darkness, bro.
When he told Aquaman, he said, "I made a promise on his grave," and he was like, you know, Aquaman had his smart ass remark, but it was like we didn't actually literally see him make that promise. It was an internal thing because he stood at the funeral and he's standing there. He's talking to Wonder Woman and he's like, "Just a feeling," and it's like, yeah, man, he's making a promise right there. He's like, yeah, I can't let this. I can't let this slide. I feel like
it's not the first time he's made a promise at a grave, is it?
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I knew Lex was playing us. I knew I should have stepped up and did something. I thought this dude was a threat. Now I got to make this right. This is crazy.
I failed him in death. I won't fail him in life. That's when he said, again, Zack Snyder doesn't spoon feed you stuff. You got to use this piece of cauliflower between your ears.
Bruce is thinking to himself, ultimately, Bruce is like, his sacrifice would have been better than Clark's.
Yeah.
He's like, what am I here for? I'm just some old dude with a bunch of tech. Like,
well, Bruce is making that oath to a goddess at the death of a hero.
Yeah. And Zach's take on Wonder Woman, she's kind of like the patron goddess of heroes in a way. Especially if you look at like his original idea for her backstory, where she would have, been for thousands of years, like kind of like taking on these lovers, that were all these great heroes.
Original Wonder Woman, so I'm not going to
that'd have been fire.
Yeah, but you see where he's coming from with that. So it's almost kind of like, he is kind of making this promise to a patron goddess, if you think about that. But I hadn't thought about this until like literally just now. But like one of the things, and you guys have probably heard me say this before, one of the things I really like about BVS is it's the only theatrical Superman movie where we see Clark Kent actually working as an investigative reporter. And it's like, as much as I love the Christopher Reeve movies, we never ever Yeah, we never ever saw that in any of those, and so of course he knows who Bruce Wayne is, and of course Bruce Wayne knows who Clark Kent is, and figured it out. And I'm almost kind of thinking like, where Superman was with the Martha scene, kind of trying to use that information to help him in this, help him do whatever he was trying to do with Batman, however you want to look at that. Bruce, I kind of figured out Clark Kent was Superman and just didn't care. Like, it was 100%. Just irrelevant to him. Like, he didn't look at that as being like, this is the real guy trying to live his life. He probably looked at, if anything, is like, anytime this guy saves a cat out of a tree, you write a Puff Piece editorial.
And necessarily didn't know he knew at that damn party.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
So,
I don't know if that's necessarily true that he knew, but it did seem like he knew at that party.
You're like, just pretending. You're just pretending to be a reporter so that you can do your own PR. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Superman, it's the first story where Lex Luthor has ever won.
Yeah.
80 years. Like 80 years of comic book stories, he's never won.
It's kind of a complicated... Yeah, it's kind of a complicated thing because, like, technically he gets exactly what he wants, but at the end it doesn't 100%. Really work out, does it? Because he's trying to...
Even at the end of Justice League, I think he's exactly where he wants to be.
More than just trying to kill Superman, though. He wants to kind of destroy Superman and everything that he represents and kind of expose him as a fraud. That God can be all good, but he can't be all powerful, and he can be all powerful, but he can't be all good. So he wants to kind of corrupt Superman in people's minds, but he actually does the opposite, because when Superman sacrifices his life against Doomsday,
he kind of still proved his point because then he's not all powerful, right? Because if he
one thing I hate
but everybody loves Superman after that.
Like, negative opinions is they go like, man, they just rushed the death of Superman. Like, that is such an epic story, the death of Superman.
Yeah,
and
it still is.
No, the death of Superman is not an epic story,
bro. Thank you.
The return of Superman is an epic story.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
This is the story of the death of Superman. It's one sentence long. Doomsday arrives, fights the Justice League, kills Superman. That's the story.
That's it.
But the thing that makes it great is all the stuff that comes after it. It's like the death of Superman is called the death of Superman because it starts with the death of Superman.
You said that because I always said that. I'm like, what? They
and I love the death of Superman.
The death of Superman comic itself was rushed, but guess what? We weren't
one of my favorite
kids saying it was rushed. We never said that.
And I'm sure you guys know this, probably most of you in the chat and everybody knows this, is like, originally they weren't going to do that. They were going to have a storyline where Clark Kent and Lois Lane got married. And what happened was, exactly, they started doing the Lois and Clark television series, and they're like, well, we want to build up to them getting married, so could you delay that for a little while? And then they got frustrated, and they had to come up with a whole new plan, and Jerry Ordway was the one who goes, why don't we just kill him?
Yep.
Which is apparently something he would say all the time.
Yeah, it was a joke. Like, he would make it every single one of these summits they would have. Like, let's kill him.
It made major news too because CNN covered it.
Dude, it was on the cover of Time magazine, wasn't it?
Magazine.
Oh yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
And this time they were just frustrated enough. They're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's kill him. And even then, the story that they came up with was like they were more interested in telling the story of like, how do people react to Superman dying.
That was the first time I was reading these comic books when they were coming out at the time.
Yeah.
And there's a story, one of these issues where like Ma and Pa go and bury Clark. And I cried. I remember crying at that story and like how just sad it was.
They can't go to their own son's funeral and they just bury like his childhood toys.
Stuff
in
like
the crater where they found the rocket.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking.
I remember I was probably like 11 or 12 reading that, just bawling my eyes out.
And there's another scene in there where like Lois finally reaches out to Martha and they have that phone call. Lois is, I think, like, we were talking about Lois being the real hero of BVS, but I kind of feel like she's the real protagonist of that storyline because, Superman's dead for most of it. So she kind of takes up the heavy lifting as far as, even when you had like Steel and Superboy and the Eradicator and all that, she's the common thread that goes through all those
she
stories.
tied it all together. Yeah,
absolutely.
And
even so much that like Superboy had a crush on her.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Yep.
Valid.
And then shout out to Tana Moon, where Superboy got with Tana Moon. They got together, right? Tana Moon.
Yeah, especially with the Tom Grummett was the artist on that. He drew some pretty girls. But yeah, like part of the reason that Steel became my favorite of those,
by the way, in like 9.8, 9.9 grade.
I've still got them somewhere.
Superman and Superboy #1.
But part of the reason why Steel became my favorite of those 4 new Supermen is I love the scene where Lois is going around confronting all these guys and asking them,
I remember that.
Why do you?
He's the first
why
one.
do you feel like
him?
Why do you feel like you're the real Superman? And he says, I never claimed to be Superman, and flies off. And I'm like, yeah, that's my guy right there.
I ain't pretending to be shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's true. You go back, you notice all the other guys are calling themselves Superman. He never calls himself Superman. He wears the shield to honor him. He wears the cape to honor him, but he did not call himself Superman. He called himself the Man of Steel again, to honor Superman, which I really like that.
Saved them from falling off of steel. I think it was steel girders or something like that.
He fell off a building during like a Superman fight, and then Superman saved him.
Yep.
And told him to make his life count for something, and damned if he did.
Engineering genius.
Okay, I just want to say something like how stupid Warner Brothers is, right? Because you guys were talking about earlier, like, oh, the theatrical cut of Batman versus Superman. It's like, if Warner Brothers wouldn't have cut out the 30 minutes of Batman versus Superman, and then if they wouldn't have destroyed his Justice League, right?
$1 billion.
We've seen Justice League.
$1 billion, bro.
We've seen Justice League as a 4-hour movie, so that's 4. Cut that in half, and then you have 2 2-hour movies. He literally gave you 2 movies, and you said nah. If they just would have done all of that, the company wouldn't be being bought and sold like fucking Monopoly money right now.
Probably not.
Like
Zach is just like a certain other.
We could have had a Steel movie. We could have had a Superboy movie. We could have had a Lex Luthor movie. They did a fucking Joker movie. They could have made a Lex Luthor movie.
Hold up. Have y'all ever seen the domino meme where the first domino says, taking out 30 minutes from BVS, and then it goes to like, I think
it's so true.
Was Netflix before everything happened the way it happened.
Right? Crazy, man.
It's just so true.
Look. We do gotta start getting everybody's final thoughts as we close this thing on out, man. Because this has been a great conversation. DC all the way. I'm gonna go with you first, bro. What's your final thoughts as we close this thing on out, man?
First off, I want to say I haven't said to you, thanks for your service. You were a service member.
Appreciate that, man.
So
y'all know that.
I should have. That should have been the first thing I said, but I didn't say that, so I have to say it now. But as far as Batman versus Superman and Zack Snyder, I mean, I fucking love this movie, and I just like him as a director. And people miss, as far as filmmaking goes, like the visual aspect is ignored by most directors, I feel. And I can't wait for the last photograph.
Hey,
yeah.
Look at this photograph. No, every time, man. Hold up. Y'all did pass 50 likes. Let me go ahead and hit this drop for y'all real quick. Where are we at?
You still owe the Great One 50,000 more worlds. He will hear your plea when you pay your debt.
Yeah, hey, shout out to you too, DC all the way. We appreciate you pulling up, man, for sure.
And shout out to Rebel Moon Theory and Rebel Moon, just because
Hey, shout out to Rebel Moon Theory, bro.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Shout out to him.
You really added a lot to this conversation too, for sure. So pull up anytime. And yeah, shout out to Rebel Moon Theory, bro, holding it down. You dig? We got Alan Belk in here. What's your last thoughts, bro, as we close this thing on out, Brody?
Well, real quick, I want to talk about Steppenwolf again for just a second, because like that clip there, I think that was the moment where I really kind of fell in love with that particular version of Steppenwolf, where he's just got the little puppy dog kind of eyes going on, and to take a big, massive villain like that and give him just such vulnerability, that was a really good choice. But yeah, Last Photograph, looking forward to that. Zach's one of those dudes where like any movie he makes, I'm going to be interested in watching. Like him, Christopher Nolan, I think Ryan Coogler's joined that club at this point, where if that dude makes a movie, I'm watching it. Sinners was awesome. Tim Burton. Del Toro, Steven Spielberg's still kind of at that point. He's like there's just certain directors.
What do you guys think about this declassification movie?
Huh?
Oh,
Spielberg's next movie. Do you think is this all about
UFOs again?
No, but I'm saying, do you think this is like them just saying, "Oh yeah, it's real"?
Yo, I was having that conversation with the homie. That might be a stream.
I think maybe so.
We might have to have a stream on that one.
So but again, even yeah, I'm interested in watching anything, especially if it's got aliens in it. Like that dude knows how to do aliens and do them well. But but
maybe a little too well is what we're saying.
Except for War of the World.
Maybe he knows something we don't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
but yeah, like BVS, like I said, still to me, like it has not been surpassed. It's the greatest modern comic book movie, and I don't know if it will ever be surpassed. At least not until we get Zack Snyder's Justice League 2. Like that might maybe that'll do it. I don't know, but we'll get it eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, it's a movie I still go back and I watch a lot and I think a lot about it, and like I think it might be some of my favorite versions of both Batman and Superman in general. God knows there's a lot of different versions of Batman and Superman, and a lot of them are great, but I kind of feel like I said, Zach was able to carve out a niche where he had I feel like very unique characters and very unique takes on both of those characters there that still to me felt real. They felt like the soul of Superman and Batman are still in those characters, but he managed to take them in different directions that I never knew I wanted, and did something really amazing with them. And that's why his versions, I feel like, stand out among all the other ones. And remain to me like one of the best versions of Superman and one of the best versions of Batman.
Gal Gadot alone.
Mm-hmm. Add Wonder Woman to that list too.
Her, bro. I would have. I was upset. I was like, "What chick from Fast and the Furious? What? Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What? Wonder Woman?" I saw that first picture. I was like, "Well, I gotta shut up." I was like, "That's fucking Diana right there, bro."
Yeah.
Even the people that hate Zach go like, his casting is amazing.
Well, Wonder Woman's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His casting is on it, bro. It's one of one.
Yeah. She would definitely not have been my first choice. Absolutely would not have been my first choice. But my hope was, the main problem with her at the time was, she was a skinny little thing. I mean, I'm not trying to, smack talk her. She's a lovely woman, even at that time. But she's really, really thin and tiny, like when you look at those Fast and the Furious movies. And I'm like,
you can call me sexist all you want. My criteria for Wonder Woman, hot and black hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she nailed both of those.
Because you could go look at the other people they were throwing around, like Megan Fox. Is Megan Fox going to be Wonder Woman? Like, no, she wouldn't have been better.
No, she certainly wouldn't have.
It really was at the end of the day.
People
recently, it was also the one from the Defenders. That was the
Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
No. the one with the size, the Daredevil.
Elodie Young.
Elektra, Elodie Young.
Yeah.
She was one.
I never watched that season.
Yeah, bruh. The Defenders was one of the biggest letdown, bruh. Don't even get me started on that, bruh.
Yeah, it's like DC.
I don't remember hardly anything about it.
Biggest letdown.
So.
Would you
but
say?
Yeah, I don't. Legends of Tomorrow.
I was so hyped for that show when it came out. Yeah, I was like, dude, this is going to be the greatest TV show ever made. And it sucked.
I like the first 2 seasons. I came from
the first season.
The first 2 were dope. Yeah. That's with all them CW shows, though. The first 2 to 3 seasons.
Arrow was like the first. But that was some of the best 2 seasons of a show. I was
just going to say, the creator. What's that guy's name? He can only do 1 or 2 season stories.
Berlanti. Yeah, Berlanti. That's it.
Because Arrow season 2 with Deathstroke, that story, was amazing. And then Flash season
Arrow
1
wasn't their fault. Though.
Was amazing.
Yeah, Arrow wasn't their fault because they were setting up the Suicide Squad, and then they snatched them and said they couldn't use them right before. And I was like, what? Like, wait, we just spent 2 seasons setting up the Suicide Squad, and you literally leave us with the Harley Quinn teams, and then you turn around and say we can't use them? And now it's Damian Dark. Are you serious?
Well, what I loved is they're going, we're like Nolan. We're going to be like dark and serious, and there's going to be no superpowers. And then 2 seasons later.
Never mind. Remember when Solomon Grundy was a guy in a hockey mask? That was what?
I'm sorry.
Did that happen?
Yeah, he's Solomon Grundy had a black hockey mask, and I'm what's going on here?
Bro,
it's
born on a Monday, bro.
Yeah.
Hold up. We gotta we gotta get to Apex Lux, bro. Hey, I appreciate you coming through to Allen Belk too, man. For real.
Oh yeah. I always like being here.
A whole lot to these, bro.
And can I ask a question for everybody before it's all said and done?
Oh, absolutely.
Want me to do it now or wait?
Oh no, go ahead. Shoot it now. You know what I
mean? My question was so ignore Henry Cavill as Superman. Who was your guys' favorite Superman before? Was it Christopher Reeves?
Oh yeah.
Because
it's always
for me, it was never Christopher Reeves for me. I was a George Reeves fan.
Hell yeah. I love George Reeves.
George Reeves, because I never liked the bumbling, stupid Clark Kent. Well, when I read the comic books, that wasn't in the comic books for the most part.
Yeah, George Reeves was George Reeves was absolutely the best Clark Kent. I would agree with that. That's something I say Christopher Reeve was my favorite Superman, but George Reeves was still my favorite Clark Kent. And you remember me talking about how much I loved seeing him as an investigative reporter in BVS. Well, you get a whole series of Clark Kent as an investigative reporter in Adventures of Superman, and I absolutely love he had that right sort of kind of quiet sort of authority to him. And it's to me that's what Clark Kent kind of ought to be, and that was what it seemed like Henry was trying to do when he played Clark Kent. He was trying to. That's why I liked Henry Cavill a lot, because he was kind of like a lot of the best things about the Christopher Reeve version of Superman, and the best things about the George Reeves version of Superman, and those were my top 3. That's my favorite Superman actors. There's some other good ones. Tyler Hoechlin, I think is his name. He was pretty good, and
I'm not gonna lie. I've only watched aspects of that show.
Yeah,
so I can't.
It's a good show. I think it's solid, but yeah, George Reeves was the one I'd watch that one every afternoon. So that's another one where I'm this is if I think about Superman, that was something that set up a lot of the world of Superman for me, with the Daily Planet and Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, and that's still my favorite Jimmy Olsen, and that's still my favorite Perry White from Adventures of Superman. I really liked that show.
Yeah.
So
me growing up in the late 80s, it was still Reeve for me. kind of grew up on is that one. That's one of my dad and them was kind of into as well. So yeah, it's like and then right when I hit like 2, you know, you got Batman coming out, so it was just all that stuff was a time. Definitely a time, yo. What about you, Lux?
For me, I got like 2 answers. I got Tim Daly for Superman animated series. I know y'all were going
good
live
one.
action, but Tim Daly for sure. He had that voice that was like
fire.
Yeah, authoritative, but also so stern. He was perfect casting voice wise.
He was another one, very George Reeves in the approach to Clark Kent in that. I'm sorry. I'm listening.
As far as live action, this might be controversial. I don't give a shit. But Dean Cain was dope.
I like Dean Cain.
Dope.
Dean Cain was a good Clark Kent too. I think Dean Cain was a better Clark Kent than he was a Superman. But he was kind of like actually it was like very similar to how it looked in the comic book too.
Yeah,
they changed out the blue for silver, or silver for blue. I mean,
when Death of Superman was popping, Death in Return. So Dean Cain,
and I got to admit, the Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher, you believed their romance.
Yep, their romance,
like 100%. You were like,
was dope.
You wanted to see these people.
I would make it. Let me put it this way: I would not say that Dean Cain is my favorite Clark Kent, and I would not say that Terry Hatcher is my favorite Lois Lane. But I would say that Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher were my favorite Clark Kent and Lois Lane. You know what I mean?
Would agree with that, actually. I think I might agree.
I feel like their chemistry together is what made that show.
The chemistry,
yeah, and watching them together.
I didn't miss a single episode, man. I freaking love Lois and Clark and New Revenge of Superman.
Yeah,
I know revisionist history is like, oh, Dean Cain.
Well, there's political nonsense. Like, I don't care about that either.
Remember, the Deathstroke showed up in like season 3 or 4.
Which one? Say it again.
Deathstroke showed up in like season 3 or 4 of Lois and Clark, but he didn't look like Deathstroke. He could give you a heart attack.
So he would literally give you a death stroke.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
They took the name a bit literally.
Yeah.
but yeah, like
they read the name and go, I understand this character.
Yeah. Well, let me explain to it. No, I got it. Death stroke. We got it. Okay.
It's easy. It's simple.
But yeah, he was a very George Reeves, again, with the investigative reporter thing. They did a lot of that, but I kind of felt like they made him a little more sort of 90s, in that he wasn't quite as hard edged, and like George Reeves, like I said, he had that kind of like authority to him, and Dean Cain's was like a little more sort of like sensitive 90s guy. And I know that sounds like a backhanded compliment, but I don't intend it that way. But yeah, it was a little bit like the George Reeves one. So I really like his Clark Kent.
But even with like Dean Cain, I guess I always go to like Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent, where it's like, if Clark Kent is like Superman's embodiment of humanity, he wouldn't make him a joke.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? And the only reason I'm happy that we got that, because it led to that conversation with Bill and the Bride and Kill Bill Part 2. You know what I'm saying? Which was some great dialogue, right? But
I think that's a great analysis of the character coming from somebody who's literally a supervillain.
Right? Yeah.
That of course, he sees it that way.
Yeah, right.
Whereas I said afterwards, like. What are the main characteristics of Clark Kent? He is weak. He is a coward. He is unsure of himself.
Yeah.
You know, Superman.
But that's
Clark
only
Kent
the
is Superman's
Christopher Reeves
critique
movie
on the whole human race. But to me, like I said, that's how a villain would look at it. Like Lex Luthor.
But it's only that one movie. It's only Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
If you think the second issue of the John Byrne Superman series,
that's not how that shit is in the comics, right?
Yeah,
the second issue of the John Byrne the second issue of the John Byrne Superman series, Lex Luthor is gathering all this information, trying to find out what the connection is between Superman and Clark Kent, and he feeds it into this computer, and it says that Superman is Clark Kent, and he dismisses it entirely because why would a being with all the power of Superman waste it pretending to be like a normal dude? That's ridiculous.
To me, that is the most realistic interpretation of Superman. Of like, well, why? If there's a guy flying around the world and you see him on the news every day and he's doing all of these things, you're not going to go, oh yeah, he's like a normal guy. He's going to go
to like a 9-to-5 job where he's like, you know, like a news reporter, and he has to type.
Yeah, he's a mild-mannered reporter. Yeah, nobody's going to think that.
What was like Hercules' job in ancient Greece?
Yeah, exactly.
Have a job?
Yeah. Hercules, the mild-mannered playwright.
Clock in 9 to 5?
No. Does Thor pretend to be a doctor? Oh, that's a whole different thing.
Thor, he shows up to be a crippled doctor. You didn't know that? That's in the mythology, man.
But yeah, like my whole response to the Bill monologue anytime somebody brings it up is like, no, Clark Kent is not his critique on the human race. Clark Kent is his love letter to the human race.
Yeah,
it's everything that he loves about humanity. It's like, can I just keep pretending to be your son? You are my son. That's what it is right there. So, you know, it's it is that sort of thing where like I can see how somebody like Bill or Lex Luthor might look at it and be like, no, that's ridiculous. Why would anybody do that? But I look at it
same way
as,
that Bruce thinks of protecting
it.
himself is that like Bruce makes himself a drunkard. He makes himself irresponsible. He makes himself a wild playboy, right?
Yep.
Where ultimately he's probably one of the most disciplined, intelligent, wise dudes on the planet.
I like those shoes.
You know what I mean?
That's like one of my favorite lines.
Will sometimes make himself seem as though he's a stumbling, bumbling, incapable person. That's not to say anything about humanity. It's just to say, like, if I'm the stumbling, bumbling,
right? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Clark Kent actually has a lot of really good qualities to him. He actually is a fairly courageous guy. You know, he does things like where even the Christopher Reeve version of Superman jumps in front of Lois Lane when that mugger pulls a gun on them. You know, he still has that sort of, he's got bravery. He'll stand up for his principles. We see that in Superman 4 when he stands up to the Lacey Warfield character for his journalistic integrity. Even in Superman 4, the worst Superman movie, arguably,
Superman 4.
Second worst. Yeah, like that's something. Even in that movie, you know, there's still some good stuff there if you know where to look for it. But you know, to me that's Clark Kent. Clark Kent is Superman loves humanity. This is him trying his best to be a human, warts and all. And it's all that kind of stuff. It's in a way, like, you know, people make the argument as to is Superman the real guy or is Clark Kent the real guy? And I think that they're both kind of him trying to fill the role that he needs to fill at whatever time. When he's Superman, he's Superman.
I'm going to answer that question.
He's Clark Kent. So
let's break down the name Superman.
There you go.
Right? Super is the God aspect. Man,
Ober.
There's the man aspect. It's almost there's the balance.
The original word that Nietzsche used, I don't know, sound too pretentious or highbrow here, but you know, it's where the name came from.
The Ubermensch.
None of us know it already.
Yeah, Ubermensch.
Yeah, literally means above man. So I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Right.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Lux, you were saying though, because I think that we kind of went down this rabbit hole while you was giving your finishing thoughts.
Oh,
and
that definitely happens with me. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, we was cooking, but we got to get back to Lux though. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Brody.
Yeah, ultimately this anniversary.
This is a dope ass stream, bro.
Bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I touched on the sweet. The bitter part is that we came, we saw, we conquered, ladies and gentlemen. ZSSM did their thing. We did our thing, and we had our W. We did. We did. And ultimately,
no fan
it's
base
still
could have done more.
For sure. Ultimately, it's still a W, but it's up to whoever's doing whatever they're gonna do to do whatever they're gonna do. You know what I mean? I would have loved to have had this anniversary be,
Netflix.
Yeah. Hey guys, you thought that 10 years was good? Buckle up.
Here's the 10 more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then announce.
Give us your ideas.
You know what I'm saying?
Announce here's the BVS spinoff, The Batman, Ben Affleck's The Batman. We have
we definitely need that.
The other BVS spinoff. You saw
Here's
that
the Adam
flirting
movie
that was going on and the potential for Wonder Woman and Bruce. Well, here's a freaking Wonder Woman Batman movie that's about to come out called I don't know, Return to Themyscira or some shit. Who knows, right? I would have loved to have seen
a night. Fuck, what would be a good name for that? Wonderful Nights.
A Knight's Quest. I don't know. Something. You know what I mean? But yeah, just
One Night in Paradise.
Bruh.
Bruh, hey man, y'all.
That's the porn version.
That's hilarious.
They said
Isn't
I couldn't
it sad when the porn parodies make better movies than James Gunn?
Directed by what's that dude's name?
Axel Braun. Yeah, he was even he was like on Twitter
Braun.
being like, "Why are my costumes better than these costumes?"
I remember when the costume for the Batman was released, and I was like, I can go on eBay right now and buy a better costume. That shouldn't be possible.
I could go to Hobby Lobby and buy some craft foam, and
it's that cow.
That cow looked like some
the whole suit, like horrible,
like a GIMP mask. It's like something he picked up at the sex store. Like, what
he
are
watched
we
the
doing here?
Pulp Fiction, and he's like, "Oh, that's my Batman."
Oh yeah, I got a chat here.
Oh yeah.
I never had a chat before.
Yeah, nah, all good. Just go ahead and keep going.
But yeah.
All right.
So
cool.
ultimately, man, Batman vs Superman, the 10th anniversary, man. It was dope to see everybody come out and have a conversation about it online. I even had a conversation with Shorty earlier, and she was just talking about it randomly, and I was like, "Why are you talking about this?" And she was like, "Oh, because I know you like Batman. Plus, I was hearing about all this stuff." And I was like, "Oh, you was hearing about it too? Oh, that's cool, man." So
nice.
It hit mainstream a little bit. I can't help but highlight the bitter part a bit. Part of me is like, I just want to chuck my phone to the side and be like, whatever, dude. Because what we could have had, but it's fine. I made my peace with the fact that this ultimately, if it's just gonna be a trilogy, it's gonna be the best damn comic book trilogy there ever was. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
if
hell
that's
yeah.
what it is.
It's replacing The Hobbit and
I mean?
Star Trek and Star Wars.
Right? Yeah.
I think
fire, bro.
Yeah, I think a lot of us were kind of bitter about that, but I'm still operating on faith. Sure. I think we're still going to see these movies. I think it's still going to happen. Like I've been saying, I wanted Netflix to get it because I felt like Netflix was just the best place for it. But I can't see, even if Universal had bought it, I can't see any of them looking at it being like, we shouldn't just finish this thing. Like, even if you want to reboot it again, I think the best idea is to finish it up, because I think that really hurt James Gunn's. I think that really hurt James Gunn's DC. Honestly, is that like people really wanted to see a conclusion to the story, and it's like, why should I get invested in this all new Superman story if you won't finish the Superman story I'm already interested in? That's the thing I keep
who
saying.
else experienced that recently? Marvel.
Yeah.
Think about
they
what
were
happened
doing that now
when they closed the Avengers saga or whatever they thought they were gonna do, and they were trying to pivot to like the She-Vengers or whatever the hell they were about to do. No one was buying that crap.
Yeah,
no one.
And even
They were
then,
like,
that was
there was no transition from what we knew and loved to what you're trying to give us now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's like you got a lot of characters that like either I don't really care about them as much as the older characters, or even if they're characters that I care about. Look, I got no problem with me personally. I got no problem with Sam Wilson being Captain America. I want to make that abundantly clear. I actually, think that could give you some interesting stories. But it's a fact that not only does merchandise of Steve Rogers as Captain America outsell merchandise of Sam Wilson as Captain America, merchandise of Sam Wilson as the Falcon outsells merchandise of Sam Wilson as Captain America.
Well,
People
the problem
like
is
the
he was an
Falcon.
established character as the Falcon for like 35 years.
We love the Falcon. He's like, I love the Falcon. I think he's great. I know, like I said,
I remember.
I don't have a problem with him being Captain America. I've bought action figures of that too. But I'm just
remember
saying,
before Captain America 2 came out, I was asking my buddy, like, hey man, you think the Falcon's going to be in part 2? And he's like, no, man, the Falcon's not going to be in part 2.
Well, there he was.
And I want to say too, like anyone who hates on Batman versus Superman, but then like they go and they love Captain America 3.
Yeah, Civil War. It's like, get out of here.
It's
bro.
like, yeah,
get out of here, bro.
You literally owe that movie to this movie. So
yeah,
I mean, show some fucking respect.
You know who damn near gave up the info on that was the Russos when they sat down and did that interview with Zach. They were damn near like, thanks, bro, for that script leak.
Well, I think it's clear as day when they were roommates, right?
Were they?
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
David Kevin Feige and
oh yeah,
Jeff Johns, they were college roommates and best friends.
I remember that.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
So to pretend that they don't talk
is ridiculous, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Real quick, just to add to what you're saying, because Sky and I have talked about this a million times, but besides the conversation that I was privy to about all that, when they did the special that happened on CW with Kevin
Smith, yeah,
around that time period, whenever Jeff would go on like his little tours, he would tag along with Kevin Feige. He would catch up with him, and he'd be on panels with him, and there'd be this like weird trying to position himself on the same level as Kevin, and it was just like, bro, you're being played. You're not on the same level.
Well, I think we've all noticed the caps, the baseball caps.
Yep.
The phrase "useful idiot" comes to mind.
In the caps. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige, bro, they had allegedly Gunn, Whedon, and what's his face? We were just on John's passing along notes to their boyfriend on the other side of the pond over there at Disney. And ultimately, Civil War was born, as well as other projects.
And what I love is like there's a video on YouTube saying like it's the same movie and it breaks down the plot, and you're like, yeah, no, it's literally the same movie.
Yeah,
bro, BBS and Civil War, bro. That shit is diet BBS. I've been saying this for years. It's the same movie. They're just not really mad at each other. Like it's the same movie. They're just not really mad.
It's a parody.
And Batman was ready to kill Superman, bro. Like I'm like, they really had beef, dog. It was it was real. He said, "Yo, next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it." Batman showed up and said, "Well, here I am.
Nope. Here I am."
Yo,
with a smile on his face.
Bro, it's so much connective tissue throughout that movie. It's crazy, bro. Because not only is that line hard, but it's like, no, it's just really what happened. He went there, turned on the light, and he showed up. It's like, bro, well, here I am. Like, well, looky here, right? What are we gonna do?
He didn't.
You know
He didn't need to go grab the bat signal off the top of police headquarters and drag it all the way to Crime Alley, but he did that to make that point.
He said, "No, I'm gonna do exactly what you told me not to."
Exactly.
So,
and we gonna see.
All of you guys watched Batman versus Superman multiple times in theaters, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you've all seen, I mean, I don't want to say hundreds, but maybe hundreds of movies in theaters.
Correct.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, I know I have.
So I watched Batman versus Superman 12 times in theaters, and every single time when Wonder Woman showed up and saved Batman, that entrance, the theater exploded.
Yep.
Every single time. I've never been in a theater with that kind of energy.
Allow me 1 second, because I love telling this story. I saw BVS in a bigger theater than 99.9% of everybody, right? Like I saw that shit at the Chinese theater, the third biggest theater in the entire country. That shit fits like 1,000 people. 1,000. Don't none of y'all theaters be sitting no 1,000 people, bro. I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be in the
not many around I can think of.
Nah, 1,000. I've never, bro. And I watched all the big movies there. I saw Endgame there. I've never heard a theater erupt like that one did. I've never heard a bigger pop. For any movie ever than that one right there. Like, and it was like the movies. It was popcorn and shit flying everywhere. Everybody lost it. It's like, oh shit, man. Like, yo, people was grabbing people that they didn't even know, holding each other back. Like, oh shit. Like it was like that Joe Rogan meme from UFC, right?
Crazy. And this is what I love too, is the people who were excited when Wonder Woman showed up. They didn't understand earlier in the movie that was Wonder Woman because they just know the character.
You know why, right? Because I like that, like Zach, when he ultimately was giving her, he gave her casting when he was doing the audition. That he let her believe that she was auditioning for Selena Kyle, Catwoman.
Yep.
So
I didn't know that.
Even she didn't know she was Wonder Woman yet.
Right. When she finally got cast, she knew. But then during the film, if you watch it with that in mind, you're like, oh, you kind of see the Selena Kyle aspect here. Yeah. It's like a ruse. Because think about it, it's Clark.
The cyborg scene.
It's Bruce Wayne. A chick stole from him. The chick is hot. You know, like ultimately,
Bruce, he's got a type. He's got a type.
That could be.
I mean, if you cast Wonder Woman and it's not the hottest woman you can find, you failed.
Yeah,
right.
And going back to what we were talking about before, I think to a certain extent, all of us were kind of doubters when she was cast. Like, I'd say I was cautiously optimistic at best.
I didn't want to say this, but I didn't have any doubt.
No,
I had no doubt.
Me and Sky have talked about this.
Yeah. You're a much wiser man than I.
I thought she was skinny, and I said I know that he's gonna have to thicken her up, but her face is fucking flawless. So I was happy about that. And I was happy about the fact that she had an accent, because I said,
let's just imagine if we got a comic book
with an accent,
accurate Wonder Woman. She would look like one of those steroided up 7 feet tall. You don't want to fuck her. Like,
hey,
but you know, it's one of those things where, like,
real, you know, like
I said, at best, I was kind of cautiously optimistic, and the thing that I said,
I'd smack Shorty from ZSJL.
Am I wrong?
That held the pillars.
Oh yeah,
it would be like China. You want China as Wonder Woman?
I don't know about China, but Shorty, that blonde that held up the
from ZSJL,
the gates is ZSJL.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
I'm smacking that. That's baby right there. She fine.
I'm going, bro.
I'm going. Yeah.
But
I mean, I can climb a mountain, but like if it's too masculine, it's I mean.
But to your point, I feel what you're saying.
I got you, bro.
I
feel you. I feel you.
I did definitely have this idea, like what you were saying, Apex Lux, was that like I know Zach will make his people work out. He's gonna make his actors work out, and he's gonna put her in the gym, and he's gonna give her exactly the kind of build that she needs to have. And
you know what?
Damn if he didn't do it.
Inclination, because I wasn't like a super Zach knowledgeable guy like that. I was just going off of 300. Literally, I was going on. When I saw 300, fast forward to that time period of like 2013, 2016, I was like, oh shit, Shorty from Fast and Furious, her skinny ass.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, she pretty as fuck. I was like, you know what? He gonna do her ass like they did 300. I already knew it. I was excited. I was like, she has an accent. She's fucking gorgeous. She gonna look banging. I was happy.
I was a fan of hers from those movies. I liked her in those movies, and people will talk about her, like how she's not a good actress or whatever. But no, she's a good actress when she's in her wheelhouse. And Wonder Woman is a character that was like exactly in her wheelhouse, which is why she was an awesome Wonder Woman.
Zach knows how to shoot people that can't act. There were people in Watchmen.
That too.
No offense to Shorty that played as Silk
Directors
Spectre.
matter.
She's not a good actress.
Right.
Yeah.
She is not a good actress.
As Silk Spectre.
She was
But
she
worked
in
that
this
movie, though.
Netflix movie where she was like a female James Bond, like Queen of Hearts or something.
Not the original Silk Spectre, but the young one.
I enjoyed that one. I thought it was pretty good.
She was not a good actress.
Yeah.
At all. What's her name that does all the voice acting for Zach in certain scenes? That was ultimately his Selena Kyle.
Gina, Carlina.
Carla. She's awesome. Carla.
Yeah, I love her.
She's a great actress.
No, she's great.
The one that they picked up.
I've had a crush.
When the original Silk Spectre is somehow hotter than the second Silk Spectre.
Carla Gugino. Carla Gugino. I've had a crush on her since she was in that Pauly Shore movie, which oddly enough had the same guy that played Perry White in Lois and Clark. Yeah, son-in-law. He was the father-in-law, I guess, was Lane Smith from Lois and Clark was Perry White.
That was
it all.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta look this up now. Hold on.
Yo.
Yeah, I had such a crush on her.
Shout out to son-in-law. I used to love
Talk
that
about
movie.
crushes, man. What was Saved by the Bell girl? What was her
Tiffany Amber Thiessen?
Topanga?
Yeah, well, but what's the character's name in Saved by the Bell?
Kelly Kapowski.
Kelly, yeah, goddamn, Kelly was in that movie stripping.
You want to talk about a comic book character name like Kelly Kapowski? Like it's even got a sound effect in there. Kapow.
Oh, shorty with the dark hair.
Yeah.
Kelly. Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah. She's still hot.
Man. Apex, bro. What's your final thoughts, bro? We gotta close this thing on out, man.
All right, final thoughts. Final thoughts. BVS is still the GOAT.
Hell yeah.
It truly is, man. And I like to what Sky likes to say about the canary in the coal mine, man. BVS is that type of a
the
film.
one, right?
Like, you know how people go, oh, I like Man of Steel, it was amazing. Or they'll say, yeah, ZSJL, I'm glad it finally came out. And it's like, then they say some weird shit about BVS. No. You're a true Zach appreciator and a true Zach fan and just a true movie and film lover. If you can say, oh, BVS is the shit. And here's why. And you go, oh, because BVS is that like canary in the coal mine. Have you been hypnotized? Have you been brainwashed by the dumbass garbage of the mainstream media? Because when we all walked out of that movie, not one motherfucker in any of the viewings that I've ever seen BVS, not one motherfucker had a complaint. Not one. We all had conversations.
Ultimately, it was a litmus test for who reads comic books.
It was a litmus test for people who just like films. Like
that's something that I love when people go, Batman doesn't kill. I have a GIF on my phone from World War II of Batman with a Gatling gun shooting Japanese soldiers. And they go like, Batman doesn't. I'm like, well, I just shoot him that GIF real quick. I'm like, yeah, Batman doesn't kill.
We ain't even got
early Batman comics. You got Batman throwing people off of rooftops, breaking people's necks.
45 strapped to his leg.
1992
yeah,
Batman Returns, where he strapped a bomb to a motherfucker's stomach. So
and smiled after he blew up.
set the
But
fire
talk about
breather
too,
on
you
fire
said
with the
Batman was breaking
Batmobile
arms and throwing
exhaust.
them off rooftops. Superman was
Yeah.
breaking arms and throwing people off rooftops in the
Superman, yeah,
30s.
he was killing people. Like in I had a Superman comic, like not the actual reprint of it, obviously, but there was one where like guys were shooting at him with Tommy guns, so he wound up tying the Tommy guns around their necks and throwing them out the window.
There was this early 30s one
Golden Age
where
Superman did not play.
This landlord was using cheap steel and the buildings were falling apart. So
Mhm.
Superman took him to the roof, broke his arms and legs, and threw him off the roof. That was in the comic book.
Right? Crazy. Hey,
But
hold up.
Somebody goes, "That's
We
not
got-
Superman." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I mean, it is."
We got Rebel Moon Theory in the building. What's going on, bro? And we are about to shut the stream down, unfortunately, bro. I'm sorry, man, but yo, we'll definitely get you on the platform pretty soon, man. And shout out to Rebel Moon Theory. And y'all get that man and subscribe. Keep
Oh, yeah.
it
Rebel
down.
Moon
You know what I
Theory.
mean?
Keep them theories coming.
Yeah, bro. It keep it coming. But all right. What was you saying, Apex, bro?
Nah, just that like it is that litmus test. It is ultimately the canary in the coal mine, and ultimately, man, no matter what happens with Zack Snyder's world, just know that it definitely reached a peak of sorts when it touched Batman versus Superman, and frankly, the Ultimate Edition is the peak of comic book cinema because it was almost equal parts art house indie film and equal parts of blockbuster, man. It was first of its kind and last. I don't think we're ever gonna get anything quite like BVS ever again, ever.
And I think that might be why some people had a problem with it. Is like they see something like that and then they think it's pretentious, and it's like, nah, man, it's just good. It's what it is. It's just quality filmmaking. It's like it's something like I said, Zack Snyder movies. You should think while you're watching them, and I think some people just went into it, just thought, oh, this is another Marvel piece of shit where I can turn off my brain and just look at the pretty pictures or whatever and laugh at the dopey humor. And it was not that at all. It was something much more.
Yep,
I remember I went to Watchmen.
People to this day.
I went to Watchmen with my sister and her husband, who are normies. And after the movie, when we came out, I was like, "What do you guys think?" Because I read the comic book. I mean, I had the graphic novel. I've read it multiple times. I was like, "What do you guys think about the movie?" And the husband went, "Well, I've never seen so much blue cock." I'm like, "That's all you got from the movie?"
Wow, that's what you walked out of the theater with, you know?
You're right.
Crazy.
Like, I think they were expecting a Marvel movie when we went
exactly.
100%. And you know, and they got something that they might not have been ready for.
Right
now, everybody's looking back like, "Oh my god, this shit was all peak."
Exactly.
But hey man, was you finished? It was your final thoughts, though, Lux?
For sure.
Man, I want to thank you for pulling up too, bro. It's funny.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me, bro.
For sure, man. Always, bro. It's funny because I was just hearing DC say, yo, that you know, nobody in the theater had these reactions. What's funny is too, because once again, I had the largest sample size out of anybody that I know. Right? Like, and and I even asked the ushers because they got a standing ovation at the end of the movie. And I was like, hey, like, is this how it's pretty much been? They're like, yo, every showing they're getting standing ovations and shit. Like, so yeah, everybody, the theater was buzzing, and I will always say this: that was the weirdest theater going experience too, because I had stayed off the internet prior to that, and I saw the reactions to the movie after I walked out of the theater, and I was so confused. I was like, wait, whoa. This can't be the movie I just watched with all them people 10 minutes ago. Like, they can't be talking about the movie I just watched 10 minutes ago, and everybody's ranting and raving and screaming and hollering, and kids is crying, and everybody get like, yo, everybody feeling great. The energy is around the city, and like, to be in a situation where everybody's talking shit about this film, it was just very weird. And I think that, you know, as we stand today, we see that there's definitely been a calculated attempt for a very, very long time to get people to not rock with this stuff. And
well, ultimately, Marvel destroyed everything.
Yeah,
is they conditioned people to think their movies were what comic books were. But they're not. They're parodies. When Ant-Man can't say his own name without making a joke in his own movie, it's not it's not a series, it's not a movie. It's a comedy.
Well, I'm going to say something that I don't think is entirely controversial here, and I think probably most people would agree with me. The best Marvel movie was Captain America: The Winter Soldier. That to me is absolutely the best one. And there's some other good Marvel movies that I really enjoy, but I kind of feel like
Avengers 2.
Yeah, like pretty much all the Avengers movies I thought were solid.
In the first phase, except for 2 Iron Man.
Age of Ultron, that was the beginning of the wait, what? Because
it's my favorite Avengers movie.
Because I watched that movie and I loved it. And then then about like 2 days later, I was like, I don't think I like that movie as much as I thought I did, right? And I was
I love the beginning when them fighting Hydra. I love James Spader as Ultron.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wait, what was it? It was something about that one, man. But
you're right. I don't know what it was either. Especially that dream sequence that Thor had was dumb to me.
Yeah.
But then I hated the 2 Russo movies,
and that went nowhere.
So.
They literally did nothing with that either.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like to me,
Winter Soldier. That was
Winter Soldier is the absolute. That's the pinnacle.
Which is the darkest, most serious Marvel movie.
Thank you. That's exactly where I was going with that. It's the one that took the material seriously. And I felt like, as a guy who's read pretty much every Captain America comic there is, Captain America is my guy. Captain America is my favorite Marvel superhero.
Are you shocked that Diamondback never showed up?
Yes.
I was disappointed.
Yes, and disappointed. I'm the one who was really excited when I saw they were doing Serpent Society.
I was disappointed. Man, I think Captain America 3 would have been better without the whole Avengers thing, and if it just would have been the Serpent Society.
Ideas from
I'm the one who's like, Serpent Society. Oh, they're doing Civil War instead. I kind of felt like I was the only person who did that. but yeah, Diamondback. I would have loved to have seen Diamondback at some point. But even if they made her like Falcon's girlfriend or something, because they're not gonna
be a modern day.
They're not gonna split up Stephen Pegg.
Wait, wasn't he in Captain America 4?
That's Sidewinder.
Okay.
Gus Fring. Yeah, that was Sidewinder, but they were both in the Serpent Society, so it's an easy mistake to make. But yeah, like I think personally, and I've thought this for a long time, so don't think I'm saying this because of events of the past couple of years. I think that patient zero of where Marvel movies started to get goofy was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Bro, I've said it every time.
Yeah.
And it may have even been the first Avengers film with the Joss Whedon
maybe a little to a lesser extent.
Nah, it was
but
it was
I kind of feel like I said this at the time even and I enjoyed the movie, and probably would still enjoy it again if I tried to watch it again, but I don't really want to. But I said at the time, as much as I enjoyed that movie, I worry that will be the path that they take Marvel down, because people seem to like that movie an awful lot. My mom's a big fan of that movie, and she's about as normie as a person can be.
The first Guardians is great.
Most of us would agree with that, right? We liked Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
When I watched the first film,
but
I was like, because we hadn't had any of the sequel Star Wars movies yet, if I remember correctly. I don't even think Force Awakens had come out yet. And I was like, hey, this is like the best Star Wars movie we've had in 20 years.
I kind of joked at the time, do you think Disney feels stupid for paying $4 billion for Star Wars when they already have Star Wars? They just put out Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's basically Star Wars.
Well, when you buy a multi-billion-dollar film franchise and you turn it into a TV show, you failed.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like as much as I enjoyed it for what it was, I did feel very strongly. I was very worried that they might learn the wrong lessons for this and go in the wrong direction. And not only was I right about that, because Thor Ragnarok was basically, in my eyes, that was Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm like, why are they even making Guardians of the Galaxy 3? They already made it. It was called Thor Ragnarok. But
I kept saying that. I was like,
and then
and isn't it funny? Thor 3 only made money really because of the whole Hulk and Planet Hulk storyline, which was like shoehorned in for maybe a 15-minute sequence.
Yeah, basically that was the thing I was like more interested in than anything else. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of.
So stupid they're not making Hulk movies.
They're just turning down money. Basically, they're turning down money.
And it's man. Wait, but I kind of did want to jump back on this though, because when we were speaking about BVS a second ago, we were talking about how the people were reacting to this film out of the theater. You know, that is something that we've kind of had on our side this whole time, was the genuine reaction that the people have had to these things, right? And the fact that they've resonated with people over such long periods of time, right? Like we're here 10 years later discussing this film, breaking it down, having real conversations about it, you know. When you look back, I mean, people aren't typically doing that for other films like that, you know.
Even DC films,
especially comic book movie.
Like DC even look at like Nolan's DC. Does anyone really talk about it all these years later?
I think the Christopher Nolan Batman movies people do. Like maybe not to the same extent
on social media or on YouTube, and no one cares.
Batfleck, bro.
Well, he's certainly my favorite current Batman.
They don't even care about Pattinson right now. Look,
Pattinson's one. I don't hear a lot of people. I hear more people talk. Let me put it this way: I think more people talk about Christian Bale than talk about Robert Pattinson, just from what I've seen.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, more people talk about Michael Keaton than talk about Robert Pattinson. And me personally, I'd take George Clooney over Robert Pattinson. That's just me.
Michael Keaton, the best Batman who never killed anyone ever.
Yeah. Well, I always say Michael Keaton's Batman is that 1939 Batman. He just needed the little short purple gloves, and he would have been totally 1939 Batman.
Hey, personally, I'm okay with Batman killing people. I think in this Absolute Batman universe, I don't know if you guys are reading Absolute Universe, but he has like a battle axe and he's cutting arms off. I'm like, dude, just have him kill people.
Okay, I'm pretty firm.
Real quick, I gotta say something. That Absolute Batman is pissing me off, but at the same time, I think it's pretty cool. But it pisses me off because of the same shit you just said. He's lopping off people's limbs.
Yeah, the hypocrisy.
Spewing blood everywhere like it's a Kill Bill Quentin Tarantino flick. But
he's like, I don't kill.
His stupid dialogue is, I'm not hitting vital organs. Motherfucker, you got blood squirting out of the dude's. What are you talking like?
You literally cut a dude's arm off with an axe.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna bleed out.
Arteries in his right arm, bro. Wait, look, bro. We got it.
Absolutely stupid. No pun intended by saying absolutely.
When he ends Black Mask, he like rotates the ears on his head like towards, and then like stabs his eyes out.
Yeah, but he stabbed Black Mask in the eyes with his damn ears.
But he didn't die. He's fine.
He took the ears out, and they look like damn machetes. And he stabbed the guy through his chest. But he's not. It's stupid.
You guys know on YouTube, there's the parody of the Christopher Nolan movies, like Bad Man, I think they're called. You know, the one where he's like, I'll analyze
College
it
Humor?
with science. Yeah, College Humor. That's who does it.
Huh.
They have the one with Patton Oswalt did one where he played the Penguin, he winds up killing the Penguin by throwing a batarang into his head, and he's like, he's sleeping. That's what that kind of makes me think of. Like, he doesn't understand that he killed the Penguin.
But this is what's cool though with the Absolute Batman is like, so Bane was like kind of the like second or third big story, and I'm like, God damn, it's kind of early for Bane.
Yeah.
But then like Bane didn't break Batman's back or break Batman, like he broke Batman's life.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like, okay.
Okay. Right? Hey, yo, wait, look, man. This has been a fantastic stream, bro. We've been going damn near 3 hours. Shouts out to the whole panel. I want to say shout out to Apex Lux for stopping through. Shout out to Alan Belt. Shout out to DC all the way. Get on there and holding it down, man. Any last words before we close this out, gentlemen?
Bang.
Zack Snyder to the end.
Peace.